So this whole time we've been sitting here getting used to our introduction, and then we realized we're on mute.
Right.
So, how's it, Albert?
Good. And yourself, Richard?
Good, thanks. Welcome to our birthday celebration Friday night stream.
No. Well, Friday.
Well.
Saturday afternoon.
Meant to be a Friday, but the ESCOM wouldn't let us have it on a Friday, so we moved it to another Friday, and then they wouldn't let us have it last night, so we're having it today.
Yeah.
Screw ESCOM, we'll do it no matter what we have to do. So, yeah, welcome to our Friday stream, celebrating our birthday from a week prior.
No.
Yeah. How's your week been otherwise?
No, I've just been busy painting, getting the stuff ready for the stream. I think most of the work's been done for us from the Discord community.
Yeah. No, it's been a busy week of trying to get all the photos together and all the content together, and special shout out to the Discord team because they've all been busy with trying to help out with getting the numbers together and the stats, which is going to be something we're going to cover today. So yeah, it's been a busy week, and then just got frustrating with ESCOM saying to us, no, you can't do it on Friday. Fine. So yeah, hence why we're here today. But yeah, at the same time, just to let the guys know, and I'm sure a lot of them are giggling their heads off because this is our first foray into this kind of format, and we're going to be sort of feeling our way around. I'm sure after a couple of streams like this, we'll be more comfortable. But at this point in time, it's going to be awkward and
so
weird.
We're so used to just looking to a camera.
Exactly, yeah. First of all, this is the thing. This is the weird evolution I've had over the last year, because it's been a case of never did streaming, don't like sitting in front of a camera. Now I was sitting in front of a camera like 2-3 times a week, and everyone will even. I remember Warren came to see us for that. Right in the beginning, we did a little interview with Warren because we're trying to grow and become guys that we're going to do interviews and things. Yeah, so we had Warren over, and even Warren was saying to you, I seemed like a guy in front, a deer in front of headlights. So it's taken us a while to get used to this whole setup and stream and doing it in different formats. But that's all one of the things that we've taken pride in. Yeah,
I just wanted to say I don't know how much the mic picks up us on this table.
So we'll try not to move it. Like I said, this is going to be awkward, and this is going to be our first foray into this format. So we will make mistakes. So you guys are more than welcome to giggle along in the background, because that's what's going to happen. But yeah, so before we move any further forward, let's do our first maturity disclaimer that this is targeted at a mature audience, and that Richard has been known to drop the F-bomb on the regular occasion whenever I get too excited about seeing stuff. So just a fair warning. And with that,
now we can gooi.
Now we can gooi. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing we want to try and keep is we want to keep that local flavor and keep this a South African thing, and just to remind folks that we are not in the realm of the norm when it comes to streaming and stuff. That we are a humble, small little community, but very passionate and very proud of what we've achieved so far, and that's what today is all about. Is sort of show off a little bit of what we've achieved and what the community has achieved and done. So,
and I think that's the most important part. Is what everybody's achieved with us in helping us get where we're at this point.
I've always said to you, since day one, that I believe in that saying of, the strength of a community is only in the activity of its members, the activeness of its members. And that's the thing that's made me the most proud of watching this Discord grow over the last year, is the fact that everyone's active. I even remember you saying right in the beginning how you're worried. We had just started and there wasn't a lot of activity, and you're going, we should be way more active. And I was like, I'm sure it'll get there. Let's just give it some time. Now I jump on and I'm catching up 3 days of stuff. And yesterday you pointing out something where I was like, oh, check out this Kickstarter. And you're like, Rich, old news. I'm like, oh shit. So it's been awesome to see how much activity is going, but it's also made me now worry because I feel like I can't keep up. There's just so much going. But like I say, I'd rather have that scenario than no activity. So very proud of the activity, the members, the support. We'll cover some of the highlights that you guys have had. This old toppy come to tears at times because of some of the stuff. Only a few times. I feel like the Kevin Smith of the hobby world. I'm always bawling over something.
He cries too much.
No, he cries way too much. I'm emotional, but not that emotional. But yeah, and at the same time, I don't cry through a review. If I don't like something, I'll say it. But anyway, so yeah.
You only cry when you get stuff and you can't keep it.
Yeah, then that means I cry on a regular basis. Because I'm literally going, take stuff, and it all passes under my nose. But it's cool, and that's the thing that also makes me happy, is the fact that we've gotten to a point where we can actually feel like we can truly reward our members in our community, and that for me was one of the key things I wanted to have. I don't want to have a scenario where guys are not feeling like they're benefiting, that they're just contributing this fee every month to be a member, but they don't take anything from it. First and foremost is that they take the community and the activity and the friendships and the sort of immersion into learning how to be a painter. But then the added benefit where I wanted guys to be able to actually physically get benefits.
Yeah.
So really proud to have seen how we started with almost next to nothing. And we've progressed now to the point where, you know, today alone we're giving away like over 3,000 rands worth of goodies and stuff like that, which is cool. And the fact that we now have monthly benefits and giveaways and discounts and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really cool to see that progression. But yeah, just to let the guys know what's our plan for the schedule and how we're going to roll everything out today. We are going to try follow a very strict time frame, and we're going to try and keep this to 1.5, 2 hours max. We normally do it 1.5 hours, but for today, because there's a lot to cover and there's a lot of giveaways and stuff, and I'm sure you guys are already looking at some of the goodies sitting on the shelf here. Yeah, excited to get that stuff done. So what's first up on our itinerary?
I can pull it up on my phone if we really want to, if we want to be professional with it.
Well, yeah, apologies. We said to the community how we had planned and prepped, and yeah, we still feel like as much prep as we did, we still don't feel like we're quite prepared. And then I try to print out the script for us, so we'd have this full script, and then my printer stopped working, so it's just been so much fun.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, just to cover a couple of things with regards to the stream, as we are, you know, doing this today on a different format. So just to clarify for the guys moving forward, how we're going to work that particular stream on a Friday. I mean, this is your department, because when it comes to tech, I become dyslexic and illiterate. So Albert will clarify that for you guys. Rules, things like that, the draws, all that sort of stuff. I know things changed slightly for today. Yeah. Okay, so maybe what we should clarify for the guys is that normally when we do the stream on a Friday night, which is usually in our week 4 Friday night stream, which is at the end of the month, and during that stream we normally do some promotions, we do some reviews, we unbox cool miniatures from Madness 3D, and unbox cool stuff from Panda, and then we do giveaways. But those giveaways are usually based on eligibility, being the fact that you have to be on the stream, and then if you're a server level 10 and upwards, you get an additional ticket. Yeah. But because ESCOM said, no, you can't do that this time around, we've changed it for today only. So just to clarify for everyone, so there's no confusion, today is working slightly different from the norm. The norm will be, as I just said, that you have to be on the stream to join us, because we'd like to have an audience. We don't want to just sit and talk to the internet ether and not have any sort of audience to talk to. But for today's purposes, we're changing things a little bit because of the chaos and the mayhem that load shedding brings with it. We don't want to have people kept out of the opportunity of winning something, because that's, you know, one of the things I'm really excited to do today. So for today's purposes, we're simply going to work with the full member list, and we'll draw all the prizes from that full member list.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So yeah, just so that you guys are all aware of it and we're not leaving anyone confused and in the dark. And yeah, I got to stop moving my hands, and this is
just one disclaimer: if you've not been a member for 30 days, that's only
the thing.
one.
So you need to be a subscribed member, and you need to have been a subscriber for at least 30 days to then qualify for that eligibility. So we will bring that into effect at the end of November with our next Friday night stream. So just in future, so you guys are aware, you need to be subscribed and you need to be on the stream to give yourself a good chance to win some of the giveaways that we have. And the really cool thing is we've got quite a few giveaways already lined up for November. We've got Henry's very cool, what's it, shard speaker of Slaanesh, with Nike tackies to boot.
No, that's the...
That's the Eldar. Sorry, that's the Eldar fast year that we're doing for a commission. Check, you see, we're so busy, we're getting confused and losing track of things. But yeah, so Henry's busy painting our painted model giveaway for November, which I know he's done. Yeah. And the guys have actually seen on the Discord. It looks so cool. And then we've got Julio with his Infinity one for this month. So really excited to give those out over the next couple of months. And then I've got one for December. And we will clarify at the end of the stream just some of the scheduling moving forward, so guys know how the year is going to wrap up. Because I think after today, the Discord team would like to take a small break, and I'm hoping that you guys will see that I think we've earned it, and that we deserve a little bit of a break. Take a bit of cognizance on our own projects that we'd like to work on, and take a bit of a break, spend time with family, and then come back in the new year refreshed with some new ideas. And we've got some really cool ideas planned in the pipeline. All right, so then. Work-wise, to clarify, what we want to do then is from this point on, we want to start going through the birthday celebration, talk about all the things that we've done, some of the highlights from the year. We also want to discuss a lot of the community members and their activities. So we've actually gone and taken every single completed work submission from the completed channel. And how many slides did we end up with? Something like 50 to 80 pages of
just
galleries.
Yeah, gallery.
So we're going to go briefly over those today, and we want to really give everyone their chance to have their moment in the sun, and just to reach out to the community and say thank you for that activity, because that was also really cool to see.
Yeah.
I think we were borderline on a couple of hundred photos.
No.
If I remember, there was 270 odd submissions over the year. So that's a very active community, considering that we are only 47 members. That's impressive. So looking forward to you guys seeing all the work that's been submitted over the year. We want to then just go through a couple of the other highlights that we want to address, and then we want to cover Bustober, which was our first community Discord challenge kind of thing that we've just finished. So we're going to go through Bustober, we're going to look through the galleries of submissions, and we got a total of 12 submissions after all.
Correct.
13 technically if you count mine, but mine's of course kicked out. So 12 submissions, which is not bad. I really am proud of the fact that 12 people, and the majority of them have never painted a bust before, which was really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing the galleries of those, and then we'll do the voucher giveaway for that. And then we'll start working on the rest of the giveaways. So we're going to leave that to the end to make sure that you guys sit and listen to all our cuck for the first hour. So with that in mind, we don't want to waste your time. We're going to start moving on to that first section where we cover what we've achieved. We're going to try and catch up with the chat on the side as well. So we're going to be doing a bit of multitasking. Hope you guys will bear with us. And like I say,
Francois already giving me shit about me. Almost deleting him from the Discord.
Sorry guys. The painting sheriff has been waving his power of authority over the last couple of days, but that's because at the same time we've treated the birthday celebration as also an opportunity to do some spring cleaning. So just fixing up channels, tidying things up. So yes, I give you permission to call him the Thanos of WildStorm. Just as long as when he clicks his fingers, I don't disappear. I'd like to stick around, please. So with that in mind, shall we bring up our slide and start jumping into that? Is there anything that we haven't covered in our little script? Like I say, guys, we will get used to this format, and we will...
I don't know if you want to start off with
cover things.
Are we still first starting by... I don't know. I think we can rather start with what we've actually achieved and the interviews and stuff we've done over the year.
Yeah. Well, so we've created a lovely slide, which the whole Discord team has had input in.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole team has really contributed. Julio did the content mapping of all the galleries from the completed works. We had Hanru helping us out with counting up all the damn content hours that we've achieved, and I think you guys will be quite surprised by that. We've had Waldo work on the slide and give it a nice little aesthetic touch to it, and then we've had Albert and myself busy working on the script and covering all the bases and all the points that we needed to discuss, and it's been madness. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, and this is where you guys will understand some of the delays, where we weren't actually upset about some of the delays, because we started to realize that this was actually going to be quite a worthwhile stream to do on its own, because we started to discover that there was some amazing numbers coming through, and we were like, holy shit, did we do that much? And it's funny, I was looking at some of the analytics on YouTube with some of the YouTubers that we all love to follow, and I think we kicked ass with the amount of hours of content produced on some of those YouTubers. So not bad for a bunch of, little
Not
guys.
at most, not all the time. The quality
No, look, the
over
quality,
quantity.
look, yeah, we'll never sit there and say that our quality was way better than theirs, because, we are limited by resources
But
and limited by hardware.
We're very consistent.
But we were no less passionate, and we were consistent. That's one thing we can give ourselves. We were surprisingly consistent. Damn it, it still boggles my mind how much content we actually produce. So with that, why don't we get on to the first bit of information? And I think the title says it all. 310 hours of content, which is just nuts. So we've broken it down so that you guys can actually see how much content on so many different varying sort of formats that we conducted. And if you guys remember, the Work in Progress Wednesday and the Friday regular sort of revolving theme setup, we only introduced about 2-3 months back. And we've managed to then do every single Wednesday and every single Friday. And then at the same time, the one part that blows my mind a little bit is the private lessons, because we were offering private lessons straight from the 1st of November for the tier 3s. And it wasn't too bad in the beginning, because I was doing about 3 or 4 private sessions a month. And now I'm
supposed to be 10.
Now I'm running out of time in the month. But still, it's been awesome, and it's been brilliant to sort of connect with people on a personal basis. My last being with Anthony all the way in the UK, so it was actually perfectly timed that our first international private session was done just last night. Not last night, I lied, Thursday night. So that was quite momentous to then come here today and do the birthday. So I thought that was actually perfectly timed.
But he also had the benefit of being in daylight saving, so he's 2 hours.
I know. He wasn't complaining about the late hours, but happy to produce it, because at the end of the day, like I said, I kept saying to Anthony, he was so thankful to have found our community and be part of it. And I keep having to remind him, listen, I'm the one that's thankful, because it's your support and your guys' encouragement that makes us want to continue building this. And I've been doing this for long enough. And there have been times where I've started to ask myself, why am I doing this? But there are moments throughout this year that you guys have reminded me why. And that's what's kept me going forward. So even as exhausted as I am after this year, and you guys can see that now with the amount of content we've generated. And if you think about it, most of our streams were about an hour and a half on average. So you can pretty much determine how many actual shows we did and how many streams and content that we provided. It was nuts. And then you guys will also see there under the shows of approximately 67 hours worth, the amount of things that we managed to actually do. It's just so funny how the time flies and you don't actually realize the specifics. And this is why I wanted to do this exercise with you guys, because I thought potentially this might, really open up our eyes to what we've actually achieved. But I didn't realize it was going to be this eye-opening, because we've tackled everything from doing armies, 3D models, tutorials, techniques, and although we'd love to do them better and more often, I'm just proud of the fact that we did still achieve some of them. There were lots of promises we made, and there's lots of promises we'd like to still keep. Certain videos we still want to find time to record that are owed to members of the community, and I can't seem to shake off until I get them done, so we will try our very best to address them. But as long as you guys always understand that our promises that we make are purely out of the fact that we are passionate about what we want to do, and we want to provide as much as we can. But we're also limited by our resources and, of course, available time.
The one interesting thing I did on the frequently asked questions channel was I put up a little poll to see what content they usually watch.
I saw that,
and I was like, I felt like
I was
going to get away with long format videos, and
I
everybody
was
was
surprised by that. I was very surprised by that when you asked that question on the Discord, and then I saw the results, and I was like, hold on. So the guys like the long format where we're sitting talking cack for an hour and a half teaching you something. So you guys don't want the super edited, professional, quality lighting and all this shit. You guys like the format. And then we got to remind ourselves that this is the South African community. We aren't like everybody else. We prefer to be a bit more sociable. We prefer to sit and ask questions. And that's one thing I've taken pride in, is the fact that our Discord was so engaging. And that's why, where possible, I'd love to keep us in the Discord streaming. But we've got to still be very aware that as our numbers grow, that's going to become limiting. And hence why today we decided to try this as our new format for the Fridays for now, as we move forward, because we want to make sure that as many people as possible can join us for the giveaways and celebrating the month prior, in this case, the year.
So I don't even know if I told you, I didn't not make the stream private, so anybody who is subscribed to you can watch it. So.
Well, then we must spread the word. Tell everyone else. Go for it. But yeah, so it was really surprising to see those results. I didn't expect that. I really expected the guys going, hey, Rich, you promised us tips and tutorials and you haven't done many. And there wasn't like, everyone scrambling for more of those. It was more of a case of people really enjoyed the long format video. Yeah. So with that in mind, that's what we must just, always remind ourselves that we want to hear from the community. That's why we have the suggestions channel. That's why we have the frequently asked channel. Yeah. Because we want guys to keep telling us, ideas, suggestions, where we can improve. Because that, I think, for us is one of those crucial things we've actually done. Yeah. If you think about how we started, and then how many times have we changed our lighting setup? How many times have we changed the camera setup? How many times we've changed the camera? Yeah. If you remember at the beginning, we were using a cell phone. Then we moved on to a Canon 550. Then we had a webcam. Now we're using the Sony Handycam. We didn't have a microphone. Now we have a full-blown microphone. So on that note, a special mention to Christopher, one of the members, and this is where we want to keep highlighting this throughout the whole stream, is certain members who contributed above and beyond. This is a special shout out to Christopher, because Christopher not only was one of the very, very first subscribers and still to this day is active, but the fact that he also then donated this lovely microphone that we get to use, and we now don't sound like a bunch of cheap idiots in a room that echoes. We've got a decent sound setup, so that's a special shout out to Christopher for his contribution, and that's allowed us to then improve on the audio. Special shout out to Christopher. Thanks so much for that, Christopher, and thanks for your support from day one. Christopher did extend his regards, because unfortunately he can't join us on the stream today. I keep saying tonight because I'm still so in the mind frame that this is a Friday night stream. Sure. But yeah, just Christopher couldn't make the live stream today, so he wanted to send a personal message, and I just thought that was wonderful for him to even make that effort. So special shout out to Christopher for that. But yeah, so like I say, we go through this content that we've provided, and we want to constantly hear from you guys on how we can improve and how we can get better, and that we want to also just remind guys that we are a humble, small little operation. We don't enjoy the benefits of big traction on algorithms, because we're in first world countries where there's a larger market. So it's a lot harder for us to build that traction and build the exposure and get our name out there. And with that, we've got to then slowly progress and grow. We can't just overnight have 2,000 subscribers and now we can get promotions and sponsorship and all that sort of stuff. But in having said that, I'm really proud of what this little humble, setup has achieved over the last year. So that's been very, very cool. All right. To sort of show you guys how we've also progressed over there, we've had our members quadruple in numbers. And the nice thing is that at first we were worried that we were going to be this painter exclusive community, and everyone kept labeling us as, it's for the painters, and it's only for the painters, and we're like, no, we're hobbyists.
Need more of the gamers.
We're hobbyists. We all love the painting, but we all love some aspect of the hobby outside the painting in some way, shape or form. For myself, I'm not a gamer, but I love the mythology and the world, and I've read myself a couple of Black Library books, and I think I can hold my own in a decent conversation when it comes to the mythology of something like Games Workshop.
Andrew's very bad with his
So but the lovely thing is, like I said, it's been awesome to not only see the painter community grow, but we've had more gamers join us, and gamers that are not only just wanting to improve on painting the armies, but improve their painting in general. Which has been really
see cool. A lot of crossover now between the gamers, and especially of Bastobo, where I almost want to say majority of the bust that was completed was mostly from almost the gaming side.
Yeah, because they've never really done bust before, and that's the thing is that we always encourage guys to take that leap of faith and try something different, and that's why we did that whole Discord challenge. And like I say, I'm really proud of the fact that most of the guys that painted up the bust had never painted a bust before, and so far the feedback we got was everyone really enjoyed the experience. So rest assured, we will plan another Discord challenge. We've got a couple of ideas for next year already, and we want to try and do it on a regular basis, at least once every, either once every 6 months or once every 4 months. We'll see. We'll determine. But we also don't want to bog you guys down with too many challenges, and we want to keep it so that you guys feel encouraged and passionate enough to be part of the challenges. But the also cool thing was, over the last couple of months, we've seen members from outside the sort of normal scales of what we paint, like the big scale stuff, which you guys know I've always been a massive fan. The bigger the better. I'm all about size. But yeah, so it's been really cool to see guys like Sean and Van come in with their works and their big projects that they love to paint, and that's been awesome to then expand and broaden the coverage of people that we've got in the community. And I think that's important. We need to have that.
I think it's a good point to just have that. Before Sean and Van came on with the bigatures, I didn't even really know there was a market or anything like that down here in South Africa. Obviously, we all know of Sideshow and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing, is we all get so used to seeing them on Sideshow and the Hot Toys and all these things, but those things cost an absolute fortune. You're nuts if you can afford those things. But anyway, and then the thing is here in South Africa, they're so rare and exclusive because they're so costly. So then to all of a sudden see these guys are printing them out, and I'm going, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. And then they're telling us that they've got commissions and they're busy all the time. I'm like, of course, yes.
Yeah.
But that was the whole point of the community, is to find these guys and get us all connected, because most of the time, our hobby entails us sitting on our own at a desk with a light, maybe listening to a podcast in the background and painting.
Yeah.
And we're not really, it's not normally a sociable kind of hobby at first. And that was the whole point about the community and WildStorm, was to get us all at least connected. We can still sit and paint in our little quiet studios, our little caves, but we get connected and we network and we get to explore and learn and share and grow and motivate, as per my trifecta of philosophy when it comes to the commission, to the studio. So yeah, it's been really, really cool to see how much work. And then the other thing that's also been awesome to see is how and this is nothing to sort of shout off my accomplishments, but at first I was the only real commission painter that really started out here. Yeah. But it's been so cool to see that now there's more commission members and there's more guys becoming professional painters and guys who are as passionate and as driven, and that in turn has made me then all of a sudden want to lift my game and make sure that I keep ahead with you guys. So it's been really, really cool to see.
So you also want to paint 80 Marvel?
Dude, I'm so jealous of Julio painting those little Marvel things, because normally I'm not a big fan of Chibi. Chibi doesn't grab me, but those ones I was like,
but we are talking about big child,
yeah, exactly. That's what I say. Is, I wouldn't mind doing a couple of those little Marvel figures. They're really, really cool. But I think that's one of the benefits of our community that we don't realize, is that we get all envious because other guys are doing this stuff. But you know what the cool thing is? Yeah. Being part of the community, we get to at least see them paint it. We get to watch the experience and
ask questions.
And and we still feel like we're part of that experience, even though we're not the ones painting them. Whereas if we didn't have the community, that commission would have been painted and done and delivered, and none wiser, and none would have seen it, and none would have been really enthralled in how it was painted and how long it took the person and so on and so forth. So that's the one thing we've got to take out of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's been the really cool thing. And then the same thing with the Discord team and the growth. I mean, we started, it was just you and I. And we try to take on everything ourselves, and we did okay for the first, 6 months or so? Yeah. And I think you and I started to hit our first brick wall after those 6 months. We're like, dude, we need help. We can't do this on our own. Albert being the tech savvy guy is doing all the tech and the logistics, and I being the creative mind, trying to do all the topic driven stuff and what we're going to talk about, and doing tutorials and hobby hangouts on a Saturday afternoon. How much streaming were we doing in those first couple of weeks?
I don't know, but there was a lot of sweating.
Yeah, and then my shed, of course, is known as a clay oven in the middle of summer, and we started this right at the beginning of a summer stretch, and I was literally cooking in my shed, which we all labeled the pizza oven, because I really felt like a pizza, being busy cooking in that shed while we were trying to do acrylic painting tutorials where paint's literally drying on my brush. Yeah, it was lots of fun. But that's part of the experience. But but yeah, 6 months in, and we decided we needed to. We were realizing we were starting to build up a bit of traction. We were getting some numbers, and we were enjoying generating the content, but we were feeling a bit like we were taking on a lot all by ourselves. And that's where we then reached out, and we
got Henry on first.
Henry joined on first, and then Julia, and they became the first core members of our Discord team. And what's really cool to see is that not only have they gone from being just guys who helped us out with contributing with content and stuff, which we were truly thankful for, but at the same time they've now become part of the WildStorm Studios commission team as well, because now we're doing painted models and we're doing commissions as a team, which is awesome. Because we always see things like Siege Studios and those guys from overseas, and they've got floors and floors of painted commissioners, and we're going, well, we're just 2 guys and we're going to do our very best. But we've got now a team of 4 guys, and we've actually just busy with our first commission as a team, and that's been awesome to see. And then over the last few months we've had Waldo join on board, Tian join on board, and we want to continue growing that team. We know we've got 1 or 2 other guys in the background that we've already spoken to briefly. But it's been a massive appreciation on my side to the team, because as busy as I've gotten, and then trying to juggle everything and trying to find the time to just even survive, never mind much of anything else, every time I jumped onto the Discord and felt like I hadn't been around for a while, I got that added confidence that I had this great team, because the activity was there, people's questions were being answered, the inspiration was happening, and I was like, I've got a great team of people that are helping back this up. So this is going to be the first of many times throughout this broadcast, but my massive thanks to the team, everyone, Albert, Waldo, Julio, Hanru, Tian, their support has been nothing.
It's a good group of guys, so I can't complain about that.
And the same can be said for the community as well.
That's
one thing we can take. I don't want to jinx it. I know we shouldn't jinx it, but it's one thing I'd like to take from this last year, is what we've managed to achieve with regards to the community ethos. That it has been nothing but encouraging and supportive. That there's been no negativity. There's been no conflicts that we can recall. I think there was one where it was more of a misunderstanding than anything else. But that's it. Over an entire year, only one small little thing, and it was more of a misunderstanding than anything else. I'm proud of that. When we hear so much of how aggressive certain other platforms can be, and how people become territorial and quite defensive, and it's quite a nightmare to be part of some of those platforms. Whereas here we've always encouraged the fact that as creative people, we're open-minded, loving, caring, and we try to portray that in our philosophy. So that's one thing I'm really proud of. And then of course with the amount of members that we've grown and the amount of people we've met, and then of course trying to get used to all the damn Werners. How many Werners have we got now sitting on the Discord?
Well, currently 4, but only actually 3.
Yep.
So Werner G.
Yep.
Get your ass back onto the Discord.
Yep, Werner G, come back, man. But so we've got Werner Else, Werner E, Werner W, and then a Werner, full stop. It's been awesome to then have all the guys on. And then of course my favorite was always how you and I got Everett and Ernest.
Well, mostly
constantly.
You.
Oh no, that was me. Yeah, okay, I'll take.
And
I'll
then
take
you do it, then I fall into the same trap.
And it's just I just don't know why. It was a weird thing. It's just every time I saw the word E, it would either be Ernest or Everett, and I'd always get them mixed up. So massive apologies to both of them. That's been one of those giggling points every time I got them mixed up throughout the whole year. But thankfully, I think we've got that right now. Now I don't get them mixed up. Touch wood, watch me go and do it, next stream. So that's been really, really cool. And just, for me, I feel like I've made more friends and met some amazing people. Very thankful for everyone's contribution and support. Right, what else have we got up there? So these are some of the really awesome moments that we had throughout the year, and we wanted to sort of just discuss them with you guys briefly, and hopefully for some of you who might have missed some of these events, you can now go back on the video archive and try to find some of these events, especially if you're quite new to the community and you might have missed some of these events. It'd be nice for you to be able to go back and look for them, and they're all on archive. And that's now something we can be proud of moving forward into 2022, is saying that we are a platform that now has over 300 hours of content available for people to sit and listen to and learn from and listen to while they paint. So very cool. But now none of these are in any sort of order of which ones were better than the other.
No, I know which one was first though.
Oh no, there's one that for me was the part that just shines above all the others experience-wise. But yeah, we'll leave that for last. That's why it's last. Well, that one actually refers to another moment. That's the weird thing. How's this? We were this tiny little small South African miniature community. We managed to do interviews with guys from Italy, the UK.
No.
We managed to launch a product from Spain with Big Child and the whole thing, and then getting someone like, Ruben Martinez to actually shout out our little flipping community and give us a personal message. We had the awesome documentary from the guys at Tin Toy Productions with Paint and Plastic, and then to have guys like Miniac make mention of it, to have guys like Roman make mention of it. So Roman had 2 major impacts in our little community in this 1 year. And if you had said to me that a year ago we're going to start this little community and we were going to have bumpings with Roman Lepat twice in the year, I would have said, you piss off, you're talking shit. But anyway, let's go for it and see what happens.
I still have his phone number. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. So blows my mind that we've had this kind of interaction, and then hearing like you guys, where you guys were with Phoenix Sun Miniatures.
All the guys over on Twitch, if you ever watch this, big shout out to JW, Crispy Minis, Phoenix Painting. It's all just a bunch of really, really good guys, and always. Yeah, I would like to have them on one day because they're all very humble people as well.
Yeah, that's the one thing you find a lot with miniature painters. A lot of the big guys, they are actually quite humble and quite honored by the kind of praise that people give them. Because some of us, we look at them as gods and go, damn, I wish I could paint just 10% of how good you can. But yeah, I think, like I say, for me, the part that's really been encouraging is that we didn't get intimidated by this stuff. We actually just went it, and if we got the opportunity, we ran for it, and we did it. And I don't think we give ourselves enough praise for what we managed to achieve. And like I say, top of the list there with what started out for me as one of the highlights was being able to interview someone like Fausto from Abyssal. First of all, it was our first international interview because he was an Italian. And the fact that we got to launch his brand and then have Funzale from Madness 3D collaborate with printing and getting the license and all that, that was really, really cool to launch that brand and be so intricately involved with it coming into South Africa. That was an awesome moment. But what I also remember from that one was how because we could do it on the Discord chat, on the Discord stream, how the guys could actually ask questions, which most of the time doesn't happen when you watch formats where they interviewing someone. It's just usually the host and the person being interviewed,
because we don't have those assholes being tools.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a cool bunch of guys, and they ask some legitimate good questions, and that was the cool thing, and that's one of the things I really want to try and do our very best to try and maintain, as long as Discord can work with us and allow for as many people as possible to be on those streams. But like you and I have said, moving forward, that we'll alternate as much of that. So if we are limited by how many people can join us, we'll try to do those as often as we can so people can join on. And that for me has always been one of the key things about us, is the fact that guys feel like they can ask questions, be involved in the broadcast, and not just armchair spectators, which is all fun and good, and a lot of people enjoy that. But we love the fact that we want to hear you out there. We don't want to feel like these YouTubers who just post content and go, I hope someone's watching it. No. We want to know people are watching it. We want to know that we're giving up these hours and sitting at night and doing these streams, that people are there and prepared to listen to us, and that's awesome. Out of that list, I mean, what for you was one of the big moments? Well, I know the Madness contest wasn't your favorite because you had to be judged and you couldn't compete, which is never fun.
Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't my favorite. It was my first experience as being a judge, and almost to the day. I'm only been painting for 2 years, so it's also a very wild experience. Only been painting for such a short while, and then being asked, thanks myself, to be a judge for painting competition, where people like you, Waldo, unfortunately Waldo also had to judge with me. but we still had our little small competition in between. So I think it was such a nice experience, and without having the community, I told this to Andre the other day, it is a lot of work and stuff at the end of the day, what we do as the team members and stuff, but I don't think I've been nowhere near to this, I won't say level of painting if I don't have the backing and the pushing forward from the community and helping others to learn. So I think it's a good thing that what we've created, and personally I've learned a lot from it and gained a lot of experience from it. So, each thing has its positives.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing I was going to say to you, because I mean, that's the thing that for me, I take a lot from the community, is that as contradictory as this may sound, I am not someone who's overly confident, and I don't believe in my skills, and I tend to always criticize my skill level, and then I hesitate and I doubt myself, and that's why I didn't compete for many years, and I didn't share my stuff for many years, because I always doubted my own skill level. But it's when you get feedback from people that are telling you your work's amazing, and it gives you that little bit of reassurance that you are on the right path and that you are growing as a painter. And then when people are willing to actually subscribe and listen to you teach, that for me is like one of the most honorable moments that I have on a regular basis, when people are actually willing to contribute and subscribe and be part of our community, and then listen to us generate content and try and provide awesome activities and things like that. That for me is then a motivation in itself, because then it says to me that people believe in what we're doing, and that then drives you forward. So you need that. You need to have that encouragement. You need the support of the community, because if you don't and you still achieve success, well, then you've just got a hell of a lot of confidence. And there are guys with that confidence. But for me, I've always been honest and said that I've always doubted my own level of skill, and never really have ever considered myself at any sort of master level. But it's the encouragement and the support and the feedback that comes that then motivates you and gives you that encouragement to take the step forward and take the leap of faith and try to be a content creator.
But I think that's the one fun thing about everything. It's especially with like somebody like me and like Henry, a lot of newer painters, including Julia as well, is like we've got all this information and stuff, and when we paint, I think other people sometimes assume we know more than we do, and we've painted certain things a lot. And the case is mostly I've painted a lot of stuff for the first time I've ever painted something. So it's just fun, and it's always fun bouncing ideas off from you and on the community as well. So I think it's just a very humbling experience, because I know a lot of guys also had, especially on the communities, had other hobbies in the past where in my case I got too over competitive with my previous hobbies. So it's the case of me trying just to enjoy it, and rather enjoy it for what it is, as a mental break from everything and stuff.
But that's why I've always been a firm believer that the beauty of this hobby is, yes, there's these awesome painting contests, and yes, you can try and be competitive and be in the top 3, top 5 in the country or whatever, and that's all great. But never forget where this hobby's true reward is, and it's in this achievement of doing something and finishing something and being proud of your results, and then learning from it and moving on to the next one. And it's that therapeutic, consistent learning and growing as a painter and as a person, rather than just being competitive. But in having said that, the hobby and the industry allows for that as well, as long as it doesn't become something that dominates you. I know someone like Trent Dennison used to say that in his youth he was very competitive and he was like gunning for all the prizes, but now he's not so much the case, because he really just enjoys painting. And that's the key thing, is that we all go through these phases where we want to be competitive. But for myself, I get the most frustrated when I'm not painting for myself, when I'm bogged down with commissions, bogged down with trying to create content, and I'm not actually just saying, let me just paint for me and just have fun. And that's usually when I have my most fun. But like I say, in my scenario, it's slightly different, because I've got the support and the encouragement, and that then drives me forward to want to provide for that community. But it's been really cool to just, like I say, reminisce over all these little things that we've achieved, and how they've impacted the community and ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Because I think we've grown quite a bit over the last year. You know, and then where we've done things like you know, launched brands and then tried to time in painting, which was a whole nother unique experience. That's, you know, that's the one thing that has been is I've had a newfound respect for content creators, and I have a lot of respect for YouTubers. But then at the same time, I look at YouTubers and go, yeah, but you know what? You're doing a lot of editing and a lot of controlling your scene, where we're doing a hell of a lot of just live stream on the fly and just being hobbyists who will make mistakes on camera and go, well, this is how you fix it. And yes, we're all human, and I'm not super perfect applying every single brushstroke 100%, because that is the reality. That is how we all paint. If you watch the pro painters, it's this constant, you know, fluid process instead of very methodical and absolutely perfect and precise. Although some of them do that on camera live, and you still swear at them going, how the fuck do you do that?
Spanish people.
Yeah, exactly, the Spanish. We won't go to the Spanish. You know, the guys are just on another realm. But yeah, so, you know, it was that. It was, you know, also very cool to see the Madness 3D contest come about, because if you recall, just before that, we were trying to get Thunderbrush off the ground. And we had the interest and we had the excitement from the community, because, you know, we've done Thunderbrush 2018, 2019. We missed 2020 for obvious reasons. And then when we tried to do it in 2021, we found that it was tricky because of all the other limitations that came from 2020. And we just really couldn't pull off Thunderbrush. And for me, Thunderbrush is a personal thing, because it's the epitome of what I wanted to bring to South Africa. It's why I did Thunderbrush in the first place. And it needs to maintain its integrity as a contest of being one that you come with your model and you present it live, because viewing a model up front in its beauty of, you know, being able to walk all the way around the damn thing, always for me far surpasses online contests, because online contests tend to be a little bit deceiving with the camera quality and the picture quality, and you can have people who are great painters but lousy photographers. I'm one of them. So, you know, you don't really always measure an online contest at the same caliber as you do a present actual live event. So yeah, it was a bit disheartening that we couldn't pull off Thunderbrush with all the complications and all the restrictions we had in place. But then when Funzel jumped in and said he'd like to do an online contest, it was really cool to see how the community just jumped on board. People got excited and people were painting up like crazy, and it was awesome to see. So much so that it then pushed me to try and find some time to enter as well, because I hadn't entered ever a local painting contest, because I've only ever entered overseas ones, because there weren't really anything here locally. In fact, the only thing that was local was mine, and I was the host, so I couldn't go very well compete in my own contest. So it was really cool to see the Madness contest come along. And what's really now exciting as well is that we've got a new painting contest already in the pipeline for the end of January, which is the Cape Town Throwdown 40K tournament, where there's a painting contest component to the event, and that's on the 29th of January. So it's really cool that we just wrapped up a painting contest. We've got another one in the pipeline, and rest assured, I want to try my very best to get Thunderbrush 2022 up and running.
Hoping.
So, you know, and if Funzel decides to have his Madness 3D contest become an annual thing, man, we go from being this community that had only Thunderbrush over the last 3 years twice, to now in 1 year we've got the potential of having 3-4 regular annual events, which would be awesome. And that for me is proof that the community is growing, that people want to be.
And the interest in.
That's it. So that makes me even more excited with that moving forward. And then some of the other highlights that for me were really cool was the whole collaboration with Team Sausage. For those who don't know who Team Sausage is, it's made up of a team of guys. There's Justice and Novak that we've actually discussed and collaborated with.
Isn't there a third, but we don't?
There is I think there is a third, but I haven't touched base with them in a little while. They have fulfilled the Kickstarter pledge that we then helped endorse and market for them. Now Team Sausage, to bring the guys up to speed, are an STL file 3D gaming company, and they had done Kickstarters for figures and terrain pieces that they launched. And what we did was we helped promote it, and they were so kind as to not only give us an interview with Novak to discuss what their plans were and their ideas moving forward and this awesome world that they were creating. But the fact that it was this collaborative effort between individuals in the UK and Novak being a member of the team here in South Africa. And then here we are, this little tiny community that's literally just launched and just started Discord, and we're going, hey, yeah, we'll market and promote. And we didn't quite realize, look, we're not as big as we are, and we think, here we are doing collaborations and we, jumping in. But what was still cool was it was an awesome experience, and it worked because they did that special pledge level for South Africans only, and they sold out. And that for me was like, okay, so this stuff does work, and we can do this in South Africa. So moving forward into the new year, I'd like to find more local creators who have got little projects and Kickstarter funds that have projects that they want to launch, and we'd love to be able to support them and market them and endorse them, and even if we can, collaborate with them. So that was cool with the whole Team Sausage thing. And then of course we had Paint and Plastic. Do you want to touch base on a little bit on Paint and Plastic? Because I was part of Paint and Plastic with Duran and the guys from Tin Toy and everybody else that was in that documentary.
So yeah, Paint and Plastic, for if you do not know what it is, go to Tin Toy Productions on YouTube. I think the last time I looked, they were sitting around 14.5 or 15,000.
I think it's on 15,000
views. And I think it's hands down, even though it's not from an international crowd, I think it's hands down the best miniature mental health documentary. It's not even so much a miniature painting.
Well, I think that was what was so unique about it, and that's what I loved about it. Wasn't the fact that most people expected it to be this, hoo-ha, we're going to do another little documentary about miniature gaming and painting and so on and so forth, and it's just going to be lots of coverage. And I remember with Duran that was the initial plan. Duran and the guys from Tin Toy very kindly and very graciously offered their support to help us with Thunderbrush 2019. And at the time, Duran had this wonderful idea of maybe following some of the entrants in their journey and then culminating with the event. But it was in those interviews and collaborating with the guys that he then sparked this wonderful idea, and to me made Paint and Plastic so unique and so special. Because it wasn't just purely about painting miniatures, it was actually the benefits that people gain from doing this hobby. And that for me was awesome.
Especially in the past 2 years.
Especially over the past years. And I think that's why it also was so profound, because it was broadcast just as we were going through this whole pandemic and panicking and paranoia and everything like that. And everyone keeps wondering why there was this upsurge with GW and miniature board gaming in general, and that's because, well, folks were at home, and now they actually got time to spend doing their hobbies, and all of a sudden there was this upswing.
Well, you couldn't ship stuff for a while, but let's not talk about that.
Sure, we couldn't ship stuff, but at the same time, I still had WildStorm Series, the store, and we had gone through a bit of a fright because we had just launched, and then 2-3 months later we're being told, shut your doors for 6 weeks, and we're like, but we can't. But what still blows my mind is that we were panicking, we were really concerned of our finances, but the minute they lifted the lockdown, we just got this flurry of traffic on the site, and people were buying, and it was fantastic to see that the hobby was going strong, and that people were sitting at home and now painting and doing their hobbying. And I think that's where we then saw that growth, and you then got the spark to start all of this Discord mayhem. And the nice thing about Paint and Plastic ties in immediately with the power of Roman Lepat. It was so funny how, what was it? We'd announced Paint and Plastic. It got premiered. We were all excited because we got like 2,000 hits or 2,000 views, and we were like, okay, we've done great. This is fantastic. But we didn't expect the power of Roman Lepat, because he then saw the teaser trailer, I think it was.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, there was 2 teaser trailers, and then there was the premiere date.
That's it, yeah.
So straight after the premiere date, or before the premiere date, I think it was, I know it was me and a few of the other guys just spammed email all the YouTubers.
Yeah,
and then luckily
that's how Miniac could
Ninjon was the one who brought it up. So Ninjon was the only one that actually still replied. But I think it's just in the nature, he was basically just starting out with his YouTube channel.
Right,
so if I was starting a YouTube channel, I would read every single email. But if I have 200 or 300,000, you just get spammed.
You pick the ones that grab your interest. Yeah.
So luckily he picked that one up, and then he spread the word as well. And they talked about it on Trapped on the Plastic. And then when that premiere dropped, kind of just skyrocketed. And as you can see on your T-shirt.
Yeah, no, I think, see, that for me is the part I remember so well from that event was the fact that we had announced it premiered, it was all going great, but it wasn't the premiere, it was the trailer. And we were hoping to get the trailer out there as much as possible so people would pay attention and look out for the premiere date. But in that trailer, the guys from Tintoy had used one of my little quotes, and it's something I still believe in to this day, is, when we sit down to paint, you forget about the bills and you forget about everything else, and everything melts away. And Roman took hold of that little phrase, which to me was just a throwaway line, really not realizing how profound it actually was, because for someone like Roman, that we all admire and aspire to, and in my opinion is the epitome of the kind of artist we all want to be, non-judgmental, freeing, creative, inspiring, all that sort of stuff. So to have him pick up that phrase and go, check what these guys are doing, everything melts away. It was just, I still remember screaming my shit going, Roman just quoted something I said, what the fuck is going on? Even my wife was phoning me up, and like I say, she was just so enthralled for this idol that I'd always looked up to have made mention of this lovely little documentary that we were part of. And then she immediately went out and made the shirt. So hopefully one day we can get to a point where we can make more of these shirts and we can do our own merch. But little plug in there for us to 2022. We want to make merch.
We're going to say in the end of the stream. Link to the
all
merch.
things we'd like to do. Go to our merch store. So that was, like I say, one of the coolest moments to have someone like Roman all the way in Europe, and then people like Ninjon and Miniac in the US actually make mention of this humble little documentary that the guys at Tintoy and Duran had achieved. And we still even had a interview with Duran, and that was the cool thing. We were actually getting to see what we always watch with all these YouTube creators, how they get to collaborate and meet these artists and interview. And I don't think you and I actually realized that we were doing that. We did that. We did this over the last year. And now when you sit back, you go, holy shit, we did that. We actually collaborated, and we had things that we did become highlighted overseas, and that for me was milestones throughout the whole year of all these little things that we managed to achieve.
No, I think it's the case. We always kind of forget that all the other Europeans and US people, when they're chatting, it's a case of I want to go back to like kind of the thing when you go onto Twitch, everybody, or even when I reached out to Roman, the people are just people. They're very humble with their time, very giving, and even though we know a lot of from these Tintoy production people who are talking to Duran and stuff, and other people who watch it, it's a disconnect for them because they don't really know the person, so it looks very extravagant, and that's the same way we view other things in overseas. So it's like this guy talking to Roman, we're like, oh shit.
Well, that's the thing is I think there's also this subliminal thing that we South Africans go through, and that is because of the fact that we're on the furthest tip of the damn continent at the bottom of the globe. And we then see these amazing painters from all the way on the other side of the globe, and we're going, we put them on a pedestal. We look at them in absolute amazement and astonishment at their level of skill. But for me, there's a little bit of that envy because we don't get to join those workshops and meet them personally and get to see their work and then bring them down to a scale of just being like us. We constantly are left with the scenario of not being able to meet them and not being able to do their workshops, even if you could afford them. Have you ever had a quote from Roman Lepat for a private session? No ways, dude. It's I think that's our problem is that we tend to put them on this pedestal and we make them so revered and we make them so idolized because they seem so far away from us. And I think that's what I hope that we've achieved over this year, that we've brought them just that little bit closer. And like I say, we went from a scenario of, I just sat and was this quiet little idiot in South Africa idolizing Roman Lepat, and now over the last year, I've had 2 moments where I've, directly connected with the guy in some way.
Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing. So, humble, because for us, yes, other people overseas going, well, I chat to Roman on a daily basis. Yes, well, we don't get to chat to Roman on a daily basis. So 2 moments in the year to have him actually directly impact something that we've done, we'll take it.
I think that was also the fun part with having Fausto on. He, like you said on the interview, he didn't really know there was much of a painting community down in South Africa.
Same thing with the guys at Big Child. They were astonished and surprised to hear that we are a community and that we're growing and we're getting there.
But also that he was so humbled and excited that we were interested in having a Bissell available for us down in South Africa. So at the end of the day, everybody's just excited to share their work and their products.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the one thing that we were talking about yesterday, is that there's no denying our passion. We all have the passion. It's just finding the time and finding the resources and finding the support to keep driving us forward. Because without that support, like I say, you're putting in the hours, you're putting in the time, you're giving up resources and equipment and everything. If you're not getting that support, eventually you burn out and you just ask yourself, why am I doing this? But that's the one thing that every time I get to that point over the last year, and I've had those moments, especially with losing the store and everything like that. But it's at those moments when I'm feeling at my worst that I've had some amazing feedback from the community that then gets me off my...
Is this where you cried?
Yeah.
just checking.
It's been a roller coaster of a year. Up and down and madness, from start to finish. But like I said, I just look back and I think to myself, shit, we did stuff that we always tend to think that we can't do because we're all the way in South Africa. And I didn't, and I think what we should be proud of is the fact that we didn't let that stop us. That we just went ahead and did these things. And we're just excited, and we, got down to, even for myself, like I say, hard enough to get me to sit in front of the damn camera. But now you wanted me to sit in front of the camera and talk to people and paint on the camera, and I'm like, what the fuck, darling? No, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want to be in front of the camera. Fast forward a year later, and I'm comfortable in front of a camera. Not that I'm saying I like being in front of the camera. Trust me, I don't.
We won't forget the first video we did where you were still in the old studio.
Yep.
And you were like, the audio is not working, so you had one of your daughter's little pink headsets
I still had a pink headset on. I remember we still had my cell phone hanging on a boom arm kind of wonky thing, so it kept wobbling and not quite. Every time you bumped it, the thing would wobble for a while, and then our shot would be, we'd be like, listen, just give us a minute or two for the wobble to stop, and then people wouldn't be getting seasick and nauseous watching our stream. My favorite is always whenever we try get because I have a problem with my eyesight, so I've always got to have my magnifying glass. I just remember the headaches we had where every time I'd be painting, you'd be in my ear going, Rich, your hand's in the way. Shit, Rich, your hand's in the way. Richard, you're off screen. I'm like, damn it, I don't know. So yeah. We've had our joys, It's been an interesting journey. But like I said, really, really proud of what we've achieved. But more proud of the fact that we didn't just stick to things that weren't working.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. I mean, how many channels did we initially launch with? Because I remember you and I had this attitude. We were going to be like, we're going to be the best Discord. We're going to fucking put so many channels on there and so many opportunities for people to talk that we'll wipe the slate clean with every other Discord. And we launched how many channels? I can't remember. It's like 20 or 30 channels that we had on stage.
Probably close to 30 channels.
Yeah. And then we very quickly realized after a month or two that we had way too much. And the guys weren't enjoying having too many channels because what we found was lots of activity, but very little in each channel being scattered across. So,
but now luckily we're at the point where it's the completed works is basically daily work in progress.
But that's what I was about to say is we then scaled down. But we've then, over the time, actually expanded one or two that became necessity, that became a demand from the community. Like the new, the gaming inspiration. Sorry, guys, I'm going to always bump the... I need to get maybe one of those headsets, because then I don't mind what my hands are doing. But I think it's where was I going with this? Was with regards to...
Just how much the activity is going on, where we started reintroducing some of the...
But where guys are now asking us to open up channels, to bring in more variety and bring in more content that they can focus on. And that for me is where we we took the page from the community saying, okay, we got too much, let's streamline it down, narrow it down, and we can be more focused in certain areas. And then it worked. And from there, we've now grown with channels that actually are active, rather than people just adding stuff on and it doesn't work. But in having said that, same thing like I said earlier, lighting setups have been changed, camera setups have been changed. I've moved from the left side of the studio to the right side of the studio to the opposite side of the studio to
from the one studio to the other studio.
No, actually right. Do you remember the very, very, very first broadcast? I was actually in my old little tiny office with a pair of earphones, and one earpiece was working, the other piece wasn't, so I was hearing you guys in mono, not stereo. It's been a hilarious journey, man. Absolutely hilarious journey. We want to just quickly do a catch up here with some of the
I'm just checking
the chat and see what everyone's been talking about. So what we want to do next is we want to very quickly go through this monstrous gallery of everyone's work, just to show everyone's achievements, and that for me I think is where I'm proudest. You don't want to have a community where you're now giving feedback to what we've achieved and how much we've achieved, and then there's like 10 photos. Because it really, isn't going to help your case much.
So I'll clean my throat that you can have a breather.
Yeah. So it was really cool when Julia reached out to us and goes, right, he's mined all these images and got them all together for us, and there was something like 271 completed models on our community. And now, please, guys, just remember, 47 members to date, but there wasn't 47 members all throughout the year.
Yeah.
And we've all painted 271 models. Shit.
Yeah.
So, in having said that, when we got all the data together, I then said to the guys that I would do these little montages because I enjoy doing them. It's one of the few things that I can do well on this. Oh, I hope I can. And then I wanted to actually, rather than just, initially the idea was going to just put a big montage with everyone's work. I then realized I actually want to really give every single person a moment to shine. Because there's one thing that we always preach, which is it's not about perfection, it's about completion. And we always encourage guys to finish their models and move on to the next one. And that's why I wanted to actually now praise the guys that completed their projects throughout the year. So we're going to briefly go through each and every person. We will, sort of highlight a few of our favorite works.
Bank of everyone. So I'll take over for you.
We've all got little favorites from this collection. So we're going to go through everyone and just highlight everyone's achievements, and maybe also pick out some of our favorites through the year. Maybe some that had some interesting stories as well.
So Andre, he came over from Clive, where Clive just spammed all the gaming groups and stuff. So it was very interesting for me to see from Andre taking part in his first mini painting contest.
Yeah.
And then also finishing up the bust as well. Anthony.
Then we've got our first UK international supporter.
Yeah.
And then Anthony's done some really, really cool stuff with Chaos, and he's got some really cool ideas moving forward. We were still giggling with his first purchase the other day, where you got these tiny little figures. So he's learned one of the valuable lessons in this hobby, which is all about scale, and be sure of the scale of the model that you're purchasing. But yeah, it's been awesome to see him become a member. And then Brandon's just been
he's been pumping
proficient all year long. So I think Brandon's got like 4 slides just to his work. Very much a 40k fan. And I remember speaking to Brandon about how he wanted to really up his game of painting, and I've seen it become neater and tighter and cleaner.
And the nice thing as well with Brandon is that he's not sticking to one single army. He's also very jumping around, experimenting with, because with certain armies, there's kind of this go-to vision you have. So especially with, say, painting Eldars, gems and stuff, and then Chaos would be the metallic trims and all the things.
And you can see that with all the work here, that that all of it was a variety of armies and figures. It wasn't just one army. And focused on that. And then Clarence has always been, to me, one of my favorites, because he's got such a nice color palette, especially that Nurgle figure sitting in the top there. I think that's one of my favorite works from Clarence this year.
Clarence, you must get more time for painting.
Yeah, Clarence, we've got to get you back on here, bud. You've been a bit too busy at work. And then, of course, Duran. Now, Duran for me is always one of my favorites, because Duran's got such a unique color palette. Duran falls for me in the same caliber as Warren McNichol. because both of them have got such a distinct eye for color. You know, some guys just really paint with colors in such a different way from the most of us. Where for me, I'm always trying to be very realistic and earth tones and all that kind of crap and being artsy. These guys throw saturated colors on the model and it works, and it's so vibrant and it's so distinctively theirs. So I've enjoyed watching Duran develop his style. But what's amazing is how he's developed his style and now he's running with it. And all his work in RC is maintaining this consistent style, which is cool. I mean, check out the color on that big chap there.
Ernest.
And then we got Ernest. The first of our Ernest Evert confusion.
Not fish, but
yeah, fish. Evert first. We won't go there. So apologies to both of you, and we'll make sure that we endeavor to be correct in 2022. But you know, Ernest was one of those guys also where, you know, we see him start off with that Aristea one in the corner, but then you look at the chibi one and the neatness and the cleanness. And did you ever get a chance to look at the base of how he'd done that marble effect?
Well, I judged it, so I had to.
I envied that marble effect. I was like, dude, how'd you do that? Because that's pretty damn decent. I wanted to try copy the technique from him. And then, of course, he's also done one of the busts from the bust challenge, which is awesome to see.
And he managed to actually get the Malifaux box that he won as well.
I do. That's the thing that also got me excited. He won the Malifaux giveaway. Never painted Malifaux. I know with Ernest, he can be quite busy, so he's not as active with painting his miniatures, but he got those Malifaux, popped them out, built them, painted them, submitted them, and I think they're on the next slide. Or the slide after. He's been busy.
Busy as well.
And that's the cool thing, is just to see that progression. You can see even on the works here where some of them are his early works, and then you can see how as the year progresses, things get tidied up, neatened up. I mean, that's Big Child Creations barbarian figure with the lava base was cool to see. And there's those Malifaux figures that we were talking about. And they're so small and finicky, it was cool to see him actually enjoy them and paint them up so nicely.
And then we got fish.
So let's get the names right. Evert is Fish. That's his nickname. That's where we can make sure we get his nickname right. But that's also because his surname is Visser, which in Afrikaans is fish. So hence why we call Evert Fish. But yeah, Evert, another one who's been massive, wonderful supporter. Oh, by the way, before I forget, Brandon. Special shout out to Brandon, because Brandon actually donated some giveaway models for us.
True.
And not just secondhand old models that he had in your box. These were still vacuum sealed. So massive shout out to you, Brandon, before we forget and we don't pay homage to those who've provided for this community. So Brandon, special thanks. Really appreciate that gesture from you. This little guitarist, what do you call it? A minstrel. Is it a minstrel? Minstrel?
That sounds very close to something else.
Something like that. Not sure. But it's very, very nicely done. I love...
Let's just say a bard.
Yeah, a bard. Maybe a bard's the best word.
And then we got Francois as well.
And Francois has been a recent contributor, huh?
Yes. So he's also on the tier 3s now.
That's it, yeah.
So I won't finance him again. So.
And the fun thing about Francois is that when we first met, at first I thought he was like an intermediate level painter. He had started to expand and wanted to get better, but then we were watching a live stream with Hanru about flesh,
sketching and everything, and
then all of a sudden Francois jumps in and drops us this like intellectual understanding of color theory, and we're going, holy fuck, Francois knows more than he's letting on. So that was cool to discover, and that's once again one of the things I really love about community. We get to know a little bit more about each other, not only our painting skills and our aspirations to be better painters, but who we are as people and how our personalities also impact our painting and all that sort of stuff. And then we've had Jacques. Now Jacques and I have had a good friendship because Jacques was very active in the WhatsApp community many years ago, and he was as such right to the point where we started the Discord. But at the time, and I hope Jacques forgives me for showing this, Jacques had lost his job. So it was very difficult for him to want to be subscribed and want to support us. But I said to him, well, look, just keep in touch with me on WhatsApp and hopefully things will get better for you. And I believe they'll get better for you. And, we'll get you back in the community. And now we are like a year later, and he's recently been able to jump on board, and he's been busy. And yeah, I take my hat off to people like Jacques, who are very committed to painting full-blown armies, and much less normal armies. We're talking about historical armies, which are not the best of models and are not the smallest of armies. So it's quite a leap of faith. So I mean, there's a small sample of some of his awesome work that he's doing on that historical.
Yeah, and then have a talk to Jax that she can paint more.
Well, Jax actually came to the studio for a private session with her daughter on Thursday morning. And she was saying how she was looking forward to joining us on the stream on Friday night. But of course, Eskom said no. So I hope, Jax, you've managed to join us today. And I told her she better join on, because we've actually got one of her pieces finished. And she was like, I finished one? I'm like, yes, you actually finished one. And her daughter had to remind her it was the sea monster. So really nice to see that Jax had one of her pieces submitted during the year. And then we've had Jay join us. Now, Jay has been awesome to discover and learn about, because he's also now become not only a community member, not only a supporter of the community, but now also a retailer, producer within the industry. And that's one thing we will always support, which is locals lacquer. And we want to see the South African community grow. And we want to support local retailers. We want to support local producers. So Jay's done Filthy Casual.
Yes.
Do you want to share a bit of what he's been doing with his basing work?
Yeah, so if my mind is working with me today. So it's a collaboration between Jay or Filthy Casual and Madness 3D. So they do gaming bases, doesn't matter which sizes or anything. So if you got anything specific you're looking for, Filthy Casual is probably your best bet and your best value for money, because we did a show a few weeks ago comparing the micro.
Well, we had a couple of pieces from Micro Art Studios, which is usually the kind of custom bases that you find locally. The problem is that they're imported, so they become expensive. So they become expensive, and then the large gaming bases, there's only 2 in a box, as opposed to when Jay puts large gaming bases in a box, there's usually 3 instead of 2. So you get a little bit more value for money. The second thing is that with the unit boxes, usually you get about, I think, between 3 and 4, dependent on which one you get from Micro Art Studios. Whereas with Jay's ones, he'd actually give you 5.
Which is a unit.
Which covers the unit size, exactly. But for us, where I was really excited was, even though his pricing was very, very close to the Micro Art imported stuff, his quality was really, really impressive. But for me, it's that whole, they're locally available. You want to do an army, you want to build a 2,000 points army, and you want to have custom bases for for the entire army, and you want to get that in the next 2-3 weeks, not wait 3 months for shipping, pay a fortune for taxes, pay a fortune for the shipping cost, much less, and then finally get the stuff in, and then realize you've got the wrong sizes, it doesn't work, or you didn't get enough. So here's where it really, allows the local guys to now really get into the whole custom base, because we see so much of it overseas. But I think it's just because down here we just don't have the resources, we don't have the availability of cool stuff to be able to do full custom armies. And then this one is from Julia Perry, of the Perrys from Durbanville Games. And really, really cool for her to have managed to get running. I know she's always keen to want to paint. She's always wanting to be involved, but I know she's always very busy juggling the business and the family. So really nice to have seen that she managed to get one in there. Okay. Someone's shouting at us on our little...
Don't know what that was. Sorry about that.
Glitch. Weird thing.
See you on the TV. That
all good. Again. Yeah, it did come through in there. And then Lloyd's been a recent member, and I think Lloyd was one of the guys that entered the Madness contest, right?
If I remember correctly, yes.
And then he discovered about us through that, and joined the Discord almost immediately on the same day. So much so that I was so proud of the fact that he had never heard of us, joined a contest, placed in the top 3, and then joined us straight away because he had, discovered us. For me, I was like, well, then you're an official member. We're gonna, promote you and spread your good work. So really happy to see Lloyd has actually managed to achieve quite a few little.
And it's also nice because I think Lloyd, if I remember correctly, is also fairly new to the hobby as well. So, and he's very active as well. So it's a good thing for that environment
And that's the thing, is a lot of times we get, when you get into a hobby that you start to fall in love with, you want to immerse yourself, you want to be surrounded by it. And especially down here in South Africa, the only real immersion you're going to get is online and through YouTube and with people that feel like they're on the other side of the world. And what always used to frustrate me is you watch tutorials and the guy's like, well, you get this product from a local hardware store here in the US, and you're like, we don't know what the hell that is, and we don't have anything like that.
We don't have Home Depot.
And we don't have Home Depot. We don't have, what's their favorite? Walmart. We don't have that kind of stuff. We got Builder's Warehouse and Ben Bells, and they don't carry all the stuff. We were just talking about earlier with regards to high density foam board to do my diorama project. And I can't find it anywhere. Can't. Whereas overseas, you walk into
Talk to Van. He said last time he has.
He must be up. Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty of the community. Once again, is us being able to network and find the stuff, so guys can get access to the stuff that we always see is so easily available overseas. But yeah, really cool of Lloyd to have jumped on. And then Mark for me is a bittersweet relationship because
causing Mark, a lot of headaches.
Very sweet because he's joined the Discord, joined the community as an avid painter. Is really, really keen to build up on his tower army. But yeah, being the slight bane of my existence because he dumped a Storm Surge and a Riptide on my commission desk. And as awesome as it has been to paint up the Storm Surge, it has been in the middle of one of the most tumultuous periods of this year for me, with closing down the WildStorm shop and then relaunching my commission studio and everything else. It's been quite hectic. But
time is running away.
Yeah, time. Welcome to streaming. You blink, and all of a sudden it's like an hour and a half, and you go, "Geez, we've got to move."
Shame.
So we're going to keep running through this. Yeah, Mike had to go back to Fargo with his wife. So unfortunately, no longer resides in South Africa with us.
But still joining us.
But still with us in spirit, because the man has said to me on countless occasions that the South African community for him was one of the most embracing, and he had the most fun, and he still wants to be, remain a part of that. So that was, jaw dropping. The amount of stuff that he's done, and the size of these things are massive. Yeah,
and it just doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. I think Sean's got the most amount of slides. I think seven pages committed just to his portfolio. So that's been awesome, and like I said, that's been one of the really cool things to see more and more differing aspects of the hobby come into the community. And really amazing how much 3D printing's changing the game, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool pieces.
Yeah, I like the dog you painted.
Yeah, the dog one was one of my favorites. At first, I wasn't sure what I was looking at. I was like, who's posting memes and inappropriate content on our community? And then when I realized that is the print, I was like, holy shit, okay, never mind. And then we got Tian. Like I said, Tian and I have fast become friends because Tian, for me, not only became a good friend, but was just someone who was prepared to actually travel all the way from Joburg down to Cape Town for a painting class. Those are the kind of things that for us as painters, when we idolize these guys overseas and we hear about people traveling from the UK to Germany just to go do a lesson with, you think to yourself, well, that would be cool. That would be nice to have that kind of experience. And I got that experience with someone like Tian, wanting to come all the way down here to meet us and be part of a class. But we've fast become friends because we both have very similar aspirations, very similar career history. And I've just loved seeing his activity. He's now become a member of the Discord team and is contributing in a massive way. So yeah, really cool to see how much work he's contributed. And I know he's been busy with his Sisters of Battle Army for a while.
I wanted to tune in because he posted up last night new completed models from his Sisters of Battle. And I wanted to say, you're supposed to be painting your wedding.
Yeah, he's working on that really, really awesome piece from Michael Contreras as a wedding cake topper for his wedding, which is not more than 2-3 weeks away. So yeah, we should make sure that he sticks to that goal. We don't want to have any hobby mistakes in the marriage right from the get-go. And then of course he's also done the Discord bust, and then my favorite piece of his all year, without question, no, hands down, was the bust that he did for Madness. And I'll say this openly, and no offense to Julia. Had Julia not entered, Tian would have taken that category, because that bust was just, and for me the the basing idea of creating that. I'd not seen someone treat a bust like that. And that for me was just, had Julia not dropped his damn, his microphone going, boom, here's Ack, Tian would have taken it. But yeah, that for me was also very cool to see that the level was like constantly surpassed by each and every entry. And then Waldo's very cool version of
Waldo just casually dropping his 3D sculpting and stuff on the Discord as well. What do you guys think about this Terminator loinclothing? I'm like, okay, cool, man.
Oh, good. I think that's the exciting thing is that for me, I've always believed that we've got local talent, that there are people who are incredibly
recently.
See, that's the thing is we've got some serious artistic and creative talent in this country. It's born and bred in us. We are a very creative nation because we're a melting pot of all these cultures and ethnicities and backgrounds and everything like that. So that's what I always believed in the community. That's why I'll say it again and say it over again. It's about community first and foremost.
And it was also his first bust as well. So.
And that's what we want. We want to meet these guys. We want to find you. We want to find your skills. We want to find your talents. We want to highlight them. But we also want to find ways where fellow members can then contribute, collaborate, work together and build amazing things. And so Waldo's been a valuable member of the team. And this blessed clause,
it's
this goal.
Not been his most chill time because
he's been extremely busy.
So much appreciated.
Special shout out to Waldo because I know over the last couple of weeks he's been drowning in work, yet he's still found time to quickly just work on this slide for us. Plus he was also coughing up a lung during his last topic driven stream, and I had to make sure I was there for verbal support. But yeah, that for me is like I say, I just take my hat off to that because he was coughing up a lung. He had developed a whole presentation for us, and yet he was still on the stream and still committed to do it, and that for me was just awesome. And then we've had Mr. Proficient number 2 because of Mr. Proficient number 1 is sitting next to me. Warren, just dropping miniature after miniature after miniature all year long. And he's had a really good run of it, huh?
Yeah, no, he's been going crazy.
But you see now, once again, that whole thing about a distinct color palette. He and Duran have got just such a bright, saturated color palette. And you can't help but admire that because some people really battle to find a style, and these two just seem to have developed their own styles naturally, which is really cool.
And it just continues.
Yeah, and just that's what I say, Mr. Proficiency number 2.
But he's been enjoying those cats as well.
Yeah, he's had a lot of fun with those cats. I've still been meaning to try and find time to do one. Okay, and now the first of the Vadners. All right, so let's make sure we get all the Vadners covered here, because there's a couple of you guys. So this is Vadner Else, Vadner E. Wayne Vadner, that's the one. There we go. And he's done some really, really cool pieces.
And Vadner's also just been one of those guys that always very kind, nice person. He came over from the Warren group.
That's it. Yeah.
So also nice seeing him coming from more of the D&D side and starting to play around with the ideas, and now he's painting a massive Warhammer bust.
And he's just started with doing busts for the first time as well with the Discord bust. So it's really cool that, to me, it seems like he's really gotten hooked by the busts and the bigger figures. Yeah. And that for me is exciting to see someone now really.
We all got our biases. So.
No, we all do. I know you're a bust man, even though you're not a bust fan, but you're a bust man. Only Albert and I will get that. But yeah, so that's the thing. It's like I say, we get to know a little bit about our personal tastes and what we like. What I love is how we'll post 3D renders and files online, and we'll go, that's a Henry piece, because we know what Henry's aesthetic is and what he likes. And
if I see butt crack with too much cleavage, I'm like,
that's why we'll like, we see a model with a little bit too much cleavage, a little bit too much skin, we're like, don't show that one to Albert, he doesn't like that, don't do that to him. But yeah, that's one of the joys.
Been very active.
Oh no, he's been hectically active. The Cthulhu one's the one that he entered for the Madness contest, which I thought was really cool. And then we've had Werner Wasserman, Werner W, who's also been extremely proficient. And Werner, for me, is also exciting to watch because he jumps from projects left, right, and center, and he doesn't get stuck and bogged down by one type or style or anything.
Until he's going to start painting those other historicals.
I don't know. He's got another little project already cooking in the back of his brain. Don't worry. Remember, I keep saying to you guys, it's very weird that since the Madness competition is wrapped up, and since we announced the big contest with the Cape Town Throwdown, Normally, in my experience of hosting contests and judging contests, especially locally, dioramas aren't usually one of the most popular categories because it's a lot of work. It's a big project, and not a lot of people put in all that effort. But I can tell you now, I'm aware of about 4 or 5 dioramas all being worked on, all aiming for this contest. And I'm going, that's exciting to see that people are now jumping into doing dioramas and doing big projects. So I know Van is working on something.
But I think that's also one thing a lot of people don't really think about is we always usually in our standard is like we usually paint and then we build something else to get away from, but then now it's more of a case of paint and let's work on the fun diorama, which we know we're going to only be finishing in like 4 or 5 months.
And that's the thing is I think it's also because we constantly hear everyone giving each other advice about don't get too caught up by a project that's going to take you forever and just drain you. That you want to do a project, finish it, and then do a smaller project just to give you a bit of a refresher, clear your mind. And it's a quick thing that isn't going to take you months to finish and then come back. And it's nice to now see people are being way more active. And this is also in regards to the variety of stuff because most, and this is no offense to the gamers, but when you're watching a lot of the gamer groups and they're sharing their works, it's the same army from the same guy and he's just expanding it with units and units and units and units. It just keeps growing, which is cool. But here it's like every day someone's putting up a bust or a small figure or a large figure, someone's working on an army, someone's working on a diorama, and that for me is where I get excited.
We won't mention Waldo's 10 more.
No, we won't go there. No, those things are tiny. And like I say, Van has been prolifically busy. And then this is the third Van with no initial after the Vanna, so this is Vanna full stop.
Bigger Vanna.
And Vanna is just like Sean with the big stuff and the cool stuff, and I love just the variety of stuff that he's also got on his workbench.
But I think the most exciting thing for me from the seeing from the bigger guys,
Scarecrow is still my favorite.
But the amount of more detail, I can see it with the rogue that Sean was busy with, the amount of more flesh tones and stuff.
I see he's really putting in a lot of effort into that rogue costume, the yellow, and he's trying to get the splattering effect on there. And that for me gets me excited because I'm hoping, and I'm just making an assumption, I'm hoping that he's been inspired by what he's seen and what he's hearing from all of us and now adopting it into his work. And that for me is...
But I think it goes without saying.
Community at work.
Sean's still going to come on, so I'll mention it on that part. But still kudos to Vanna because he's also just very proficient with.
And like I said, kudos to them because they're expanding the rest of the community into being aware that there's not just 32mm scale and small busts, that there's so much more to this hobby. And we haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to doing things like mecha and gunpla and more of the military and historical stuff. And, for me, I don't want us to be exclusive to one or another. We are always community driven and we want to encourage every format of the hobby to join. And then there's Zero. Don't know much about Zero. I haven't.
We have some people that do jump on occasionally on and off. So
and we treat them as valuable as we do all the other members. We'd love to see you be a little more active so we can get to know you better.
But I do know Zero was one of the guys that was very. Remember on this photo we were looking at was the nice bass he did with the effects and all the rust tones and stuff. So we would like to see more. So please do share in the future more as well.
Zero, you've just been called out by the painting sheriff. Get active.
And then we got Mike.
And then we got Mike with some of his stuff. He's also been extremely busy. But that Constantine for me is one of my favorites. Not only just because it's a good paint job, but also just because I love the model, how it's been posed.
I don't watch too much comics and stuff.
So you don't know Constantine?
I know you and Julia were having a fan fit about it, but that's a much of my extent of it.
That's the other thing that I've really loved is how, I'll drop an old geek
like reference or something.
And thinking I'm the only guy who's going to get it. And then I get a whole bunch of other guys going, no, we get it. And I'm like, oh, wow, it's cool to see that there's still, some of us old fogies out there loving our old geekdom. But he's been really busy as well. I love that bike at the bottom. I still wish I could get my hands on one or two of those Infinity bikes.
And then just print up like
you guys know me by now. Bikes and robots I'm sold.
And Petros has been it's been fun watching Petros's progress as a painter. So
Very much so. I mean, here, just on this page alone, you can see the progress. I mean, you take a look at the Necron and the cat, and you can see that's his early days of just joining the Patreon. But then take a look at the Vampire and then the Space Marine, where he's trying to push extreme highlights and nuts. And that, for me, is, the joy of why we wanted to do this today. We want you to also maybe just remind yourselves of how much you've actually achieved, how much you've actually painted, because I think we all we forget how much we've painted and done and achieved, and that's why this exercise. So very cool, and he's been busy. And he was, as busy as he is with his career time. He's been busy.
But yeah, I remember the photo at the bottom left was his first models he's painted, and it was so fun to watch because I did it as well, where I felt like after I painted my first bust was that kind of like breaking one of the barriers, where I also did the same thing with all the other gaming models I painted, and then hopefully on the next slide, when the bust comes up, he posted his bust from where he
he had posted it after I'd finished up all these galleries, so I missed being able to add it into his gallery. But rest assured, Petros, it is in the Bustober gallery and the draw.
Yeah. So Pixie Proxy was also one of the people that joined up, so please do share more.
Yeah, Pixie, I want to see more of your work, because I'm actually enjoying the color scheme on this particular one.
And also the amount of detail for a beginner painter on an Infinity model.
Ain't easy. Yeah. Anyone who's ever painted an Infinity model will tell you. Hats off to even being able to do highlights and things like that. So, Pixie, we want to see you come back and do more. And then I wanted to focus on the team. Now, I know a lot of you guys went and
Tian's one before team.
Yeah, no, because this is the core team. This is like I said to you guys in the beginning, I will always treat that as the core team because you guys have been with this Discord, you more so from the beginning. But Hanru was always there from day one. In fact, if I remember, Hanru was quietly in the background helping you set up the Discord. So, in my opinion, Hanru was part of that burst and part of that spark. And then Julio has always been supportive of me and a friend to me before we started the Discord.
It's in the Portuguese blood.
He's my Portuguese brother from another mother. And we always love to do our little Portuguese greeting in there. And
Bonjour wouldn't work with me. I'm like, that's the only thing I know.
One day the two of us are going to do a whole stream in Portuguese, and that should really throw all of you completely off guard. And what we should do is broadcast it to the Spanish. So we'd be like, nah, you guys take a chance of watching a stream and you don't understand what's being said. But anyway, so for this particular one, this is the core team, but this is excluding me. And I know you guys sent me all my gallery pics, and although, yes, some of my gallery pics are really quite shocking because my photos weren't great in the beginning, once again, today was not about me, it was about community first. So I've excluded my gallery out of here because you guys get to see my work on a regular basis. I use it for a lot of the marketing and a lot of the content that we drive forward. But today was about celebrating the community and what everyone in this community has achieved. So I wanted to pay special attention to the three core members of the Discord team, yourself, Julio, and Henry, and all three of you have done a massive amount of work alone. So, hence why I wanted to pay special attention to the three of you. And I think first up we've got Albert, yourself.
Let's just skip through this.
Yeah. No, you're still gonna get the critique in the review.
Yeah.
But can you see how much your journey has progressed since day one?
Yeah. No, it's been fun.
It's been impressive because the body of work and you got to remember that we are all very used to smaller figures. You've seen how fast Henry is now starting to get through smaller figures that he can finish one up at a display level in a day or two. It's not always the case when you're doing busts and larger figures. And I know you are a monstrous fan of busts. If the thing has legs, you're not interested.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, we're getting you there. You've started going to the realm of orcs, and you can see you're having a bit of fun there. But so busts are not as quick of a paint job. But when you then look at how much you've managed to achieve over this time frame, and still generate content, and still do a full-time job, that's impressive.
There's two with legs.
There we go, two with legs, and one even has a full display base. But you started really also having a lot of fun with display basing as well, huh?
Yeah, no, it's been a bit of a headache because it's not a headache. It's I don't want to do it without anything now. I enjoy display bases that much. I always try to think of something silly or two over the top.
So you're going very similar to the journey I took, where I first started and was just trying to get it painted on a nice gaming base and trying to do like the guys in White Dwarf and follow the White Dwarf tutorials, and I'll learn that heavy metal masterclass ones. But the minute I started doing my first display base, I was like, no model leaves my workshop without a display base. It needs to have a base. It needs to have a display. And then I got all caught up with every model must be a display standard kind of thing. But yeah, it's been really cool to see you go through that very similar journey. But where my journey has been this long journey over the last 10 to 15 years, I've had the slow, steady growth pattern. You get this sort of thing going. So really cool to see how much you progress. And there were the little historical chap in the corner. I wanted to make sure that he was on there because that was your first proper painting class. Not bad for a guy who's only been painting 2 years, and you've got people who wanted to actually learn how to paint. And the feedback I heard from the class was nothing but short of phenomenal. And the same has been said from the Discord videos for the Discord bust. So careful. At the rate you're going, you're going to be the Bob Ross of this community.
No, I think that goes to Henry. He's much more chill than what I am.
No, Henry is like the Einstein of this thing. Because have you seen his... One thing I've really enjoyed is Henry's videos on specific content when he goes and targets stippling and flesh. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. So I was a bit disheartened when he was like, I need to take a break, I can't do many. I was like, oh shit, now I missed out on my Wednesday with Henry.
But at least in that sense...
But Henry has, we've like I said, we've really spoken... as a team very closely on focusing that we don't burn ourselves out and that we all keep excited, keep our passion levels high, and that's why we're just reviewing things for next year, but we'll divulge that towards the end of the stream.
But I must say I've been enjoying using the slides and stuff, so it's a much easier process of just doing it on your own time, and when it's ready, all right, then you drop, and then it's like a 5-page or 10-page thing.
That's the thing. I really liked that approach, so much so that I think in future when we do projects like that, we should try and use that kind of feature, because it really just alleviates the time for the person who's committed and sacrificing their time for it.
About that later. Let's get it going. So
you've been busy.
That's more.
And you've gone from everything from busts to large figures to small little dioramas. And then of course the one that's not included, I don't know if I did include it in here, was the painted model giveaway. Did I miss it in the gallery? I might have missed it in the gallery. So there is one that's missing from your portfolio here, and then there's the dwarf bust that we used as the benchmark for all the lessons and everything that for the new guys to have come in on. And then we got Henry, our painter from the furthest northern suburbs of the country,
Johannesburg,
in Pretoria.
No, it's also just been fun.
And then once again, like I say, seeing, well, not only that, I've seen his progression. I've seen two things out of Henry. First thing is that how he came into the group and didn't know a lot of guys, and now he's got this like amazing bond of friendship between you and him. It's like the two of you were brothers that have just recently discovered each other. But then there's this other thing. When I first spoke to Henry, how Henry would always share with me his concerns about confidence, and that he was usually a very quiet guy who kept to himself. And now I can't get him to shut up half the time during the discourse, because he's like, confident. He knows what he's talking about. He's hosting bloody themed, tutorials and things like this. And then he's, twitching, live streaming on Twitch. So that for me is where I've seen the real benefit of being part of community, how it helps grow your confidence and your assurance in what you're doing. And it's been awesome to see Henry grow in confidence, more so than just his skill level.
I still want him to paint another skull, but he says there's no way in hell he's painting that many gems again.
No. There's certain models that break you the first. Why do you think I'm killing myself with the Azog bust? You guys are all going, come Rich, where's the second half of that Azog bust? I'm like, I've already painted two of them, and now you guys want me to paint the third one? I don't want to do the third one.
Why do you think I don't have the extra entry from the dwarf? It just kills you.
Yeah, it kills you. When you painted something, especially when you take a lot of time on a project and you finish it, And then someone calls you up and goes, can you make me another one? And you're like, I really don't want to go there again. I don't want to do that again. Unless they let me paint it differently. But when you've got to paint... You see, but no. When they tell you to paint it exactly the same, that's where it's not as fun. If someone says to me, no, we want you to paint the same model, but this time go totally different, then that's cool. Then I'm happy. But it's never easy to do the same thing over and over again. But yeah, it's been awesome once again just to see Henry's journey. And also just to see him trying different things, like really pushing his lights, playing around with colors, and he has grown in leaps and bounds.
Saturation.
Yeah, and that's just his time frame at the moment. Because I mean, it's just last week we were seeing the Shard Speaker Slanesh done, and then a couple of days later we're seeing the Eldar Farsi done, and I'm like, can you let us all catch up, please? So Henry's been really, really growing as a painter, and now he's a commission artist. I mean, like I say, a guy that first joined on very quiet, very humble, very much to himself, and now all of a sudden he's this like super confident commission painter, and streaming on Twitch. Very, very cool to see. That's still one of my favorites.
Christmas present,
dude. I'm still so bummed I couldn't keep some of those big child models, because they're still some of my favorites. And this was also one of my favorite pieces of his as well for the year.
No.
Yeah, and then this is the one that for me got me actually nervous, because he had submitted that. I still hadn't even decided if I was going to compete or not, and I didn't want to go and be this bully and come in and try and squash people out of the way, but when I saw Henry's one, I was like, I better raise my game, because if it's not going to look good for me as this guy who's trying to promote this community and holding the flag for painters in South Africa, and come out looking not quite as good as what I say I am, and that's meant to be as a compliment to Henry, because we really get driven and pushed when we feel that others are helping push our level. And Henry has definitely done that to me this year. So, Henry, please take that as a compliment. When you've had a guy like me who's been painting for as long as I have, feel like I've had to raise my game, and you've only been at this for a year, dude, that's a compliment. And I mean it in all intentions. And then Julio is coming along with and what still blows my mind about Julio is, like, he tells us, I've never painted a Space Marine, but then he goes and paints Be'lakor like he does. Never painted an Infinity model, and then he goes and paints an Infinity model like he does. And it's like, okay, enough already. But this one is still hands down my favorite piece of Julio's for the year. Just such a cool piece. And he and I are both such big fans of Gambit as well. So
guys, 80s and 90s.
Dude, we're 80s and 90s kids. We grew up in the era of A-Team and
testosterone.
Testosterone's A-Team and cars that roll when they ramp, and they do that whole slow motion rollover 360-degree thing. This one was also one of my favorites. This one he did way before Gambit and Rogue, right?
Yes.
This one was one of the early ones.
So,
didn't he enter this into a 3D printing contest?
Yeah. I think it was with this one or other one where he actually won his 3D printer from, if I remember correctly.
I could have sworn it was this model that he won it with. I'm almost certain. And then, as we were saying earlier, my envy. These are so cool. And he's done such an awesome job with them, I think I'd be pissed off with him if he was doing a shit job, but he's doing a cracker job. Yeah. That blade for me is so nicely done. And then you remember he also did a whole gaming board.
Well, he said never again.
Never again. No. Look, everyone seems to go, I want to do a big gaming board one day. But it's there was a phrase that a guy spoke to me about a certain brand of car. We won't name it so we don't bring anyone into ridicule. But the guy said you'll only drive that car once. Well, the same thing applies here. You'll only build a gaming table once, because after that you're like, no, not going to do that again. But yeah, this one just cover page for if we had to do a gallery coffee table quality book of the work from 2021 on the community. There's your cover page.
I still want to see.
Maybe
this
that's
model.
something we should try and see if we can do. Is do a little book of everyone's works.
That sounds expensive. Let's start with t-shirts.
Yeah, let's stick to t-shirts and mugs. Right, we'll do that. And maybe one day we'll do a compendium of everyone's works. One day. You can see we still have delusions of grandeur. But yeah, just love the work he did on this. And tattoos as well. I loved how he was like, yeah, I'm contemplating doing tattoos. And then like a week later we said, so you still contemplating? Like, no, they're done. And I'm really proud of them. Like, shit, okay, cool.
Yeah, it gets scary when somebody says they're proud of something, then you know it's because you get that point.
Because we all know each other. See, we all know what artists are like. We are more critical of our own work than we are of others. So you know something's up when the guy's like, no, I'm actually quite proud of this, and you're like, oh shit, we better be already. And when he was doing, once again, this is the thing with all three of you guys. You guys inadvertently were pushing me and really raising the game for me because. There's Julia going, no, I'm really proud of Ack. I can't wait to show you guys. And I'm going, shit, I better fucking paint something.
I had to wait fucking 2 months to see this.
Exactly. So, amazing work. Really loved it. Yeah, and Julia very kindly gave me a copy of that, what would you call that? Mexican?
There's a
very South American inspired kind of, Day of the Dead figure. It's a bust, and I've been really, really, really meaning to paint mine because ever since I saw his version painted up, I was like, I need to get me one of those.
Yeah.
So I need to get around to doing my one. And then, of course, the microphone drop, the Bella call. Jeez.
Want to paint some wings?
No. We've all gone through the joys of painting wings, but then also the very, very, very negative side of painting wings, which is that there's 2 of them and there's 2 sides.
Yeah, but still, take my hat off for Julia because he had this whole plan of painting with the airbrush and using the airbrush, and not even one wing in the airbrush broke, and not stopping or putting it out, just kept on going.
As an excuse to not carry on. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece then. All right, so that was everyone's works, and just like I say, just want to wrap that up with just saying to the community, thank you for the support, the activity, the fact that you guys are painting your miniatures and submitting them, and that the Discord is always, literally every day that completed channel is
being populated,
active. But I actually meant to do the math. I wanted to work out if there were 271 models finished and painted in the year. We should try to work out how many on average were then painted per day. I think it's about 0.8 or 0.9.
I think you said last. Why? There we go. Sorry. Things being weird. Yeah, no, I think you said last time it was about 0.8 something ish.
Yeah, it was just short of 1 model a day. Let's see if we're going to aim for that to be the target for next year. Is that we come out with an average of 1 model finished per day on the Discord.
I'll get some 10mm ones.
Yeah, and the painting sheriff will just add to his apps so that he can monitor you guys, make sure that you're all motivated and inspired in painting.
Gonna have to get a calendar soon just to keep track of everybody's stuff.
All right, so what we want to do is we make sure we're keeping track of time. How is our time? I know we've really
cutting close.
We're cutting close, but we're going to start moving on to the good stuff. So don't worry, guys. The best part is now here. Yeah. So no further delays. So the first thing we're going to do is do a quick review of all the Bustober entries. There were 12 in total. So we're going to just do a quick review of them. And then we're going to immediately go into doing the draw for the Bustober challenge. And then straight from that, we're going to go through all the rest of the lovely goodies we've got sitting around the table, and we'll show them off and hopefully make someone's day out there just a little bit better with an awesome prize. So these are the first 4 the Discord challenge of the dwarf bust.
But I think as well it goes to say again, the fun part of in this sort of lucky draw format of it's not a case of doing your best work or
well, let's bring everyone that's viewing this that wasn't aware of the Discord how it was working, what was the concept behind it. Like you say, it wasn't a painting contest. First and foremost, this was not a painting contest. This was to encourage people to try something new, try something different, and to be part of a community-driven exercise as opposed to just a project for yourself. So, we did have a lot of fun in the beginning where we came up with some interesting ideas. We had this choice of 3 options. We had one that was called Face the Storm, one that was called Follow the Storm, and one that was called Chase the Storm. So Chase the Storm referred to those who wanted to follow, Chase the Storm were those who really wanted to push their skills by trying limitations. So some guys got things like a monochromatic color scheme. Other guys got, like myself, I got the Rembrandt lighting technique. What else was there? There was a couple.
Split in half.
Yeah, splits in half, and then we also had one where you had start your flesh colors in a neon green color, which is quite a well-known artistic approach for flesh. And then all the guys that had decided for that, we did a bit of a dice roll-off. They partnered up with mentors, and everybody went off and tried those challenges. I know from what we received back as feedback, everyone seemed to enjoy them and like the challenge. Then the second option was Follow the Storm, where those who had never painted up a bus before could then follow you. And we had a 4-part video series.
I think it ended up being a 3-part with the preparation
with the
and
prep.
priming.
That's why I say 3 or 4, because I know part 1 was kind of part 1, even though it was more just a prep and be ready for the real effective part 1, which was the painting. So there was that option, and guys then followed along painting with Albert through the video series, and we then joined them on Saturday to answer any questions. And then the last option was if you're too busy and you cannot do the limitation skills, or if you don't want to be bogged down trying to follow along with with Albert's approach, you could then just face the storm on your own and paint it in your own time. Only 2 requirements: that you painted it, not necessarily completed, but that you painted it, and that you submitted in time in the October month period that we gave you, so that we could then have a bit of fun of reviewing the same model painted by everyone in their own styles and their own approaches, their own color palettes, which is cool to see.
Yeah, I think Francois' one is still my favorite one from everyone's.
Very, very cool piece.
Because on the Discord,
he's actually he's the one when it comes to the split into the left and right. He's the one for me that really actually fulfilled that limitation for him. It's very clear. I know with 1 or 2 other pieces, I can see what they were going for, but it didn't quite nail it. Whereas Francois, I think, nailed it on the head. And then, of course, the two Discord brothers, Albert and Henry, with their versions, which were both very, very cool.
I do not know what is after this slide.
Nothing, if I recall.
So let's do that.
So let's stop there, and let's do the first of our giveaways, which is the Bustober giveaway. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to take all 12 members. That includes Albert and Henry, because in this particular scenario, this wasn't a case of them being excluded from it, because the Discord team is excluded from one of the giveaways, which is the painted model giveaway, because of course they paint the models. It's not really fair of them to then win the very same model back. So they are excluded from that, and I'm sure all of you can understand that and appreciate that, but I'm sure in the same context, you guys would agree with me that they're entitled to be part of the giveaways with the amount of work and contribution that they give to the Discord. So we've got all 12 of you that have submitted your entries, including Terrence, Jay, Lloyd, Petros, Werner E, Werner W, Tian, Francois, everyone's on there. So we are going to do now a quick spin of the wheel, and whoever it lands on, you are going to be the receiver of a voucher for Pandemonium Games to the value of 550 Rand. If you don't want it, please let me know. I'm happy to take it from you. I could certainly most do with that kind of extra hobby spending budget. But otherwise, before we hit the spin of the wheel, this is a special thank you to that individual who has very, very kindly not only donated this voucher towards this fun challenge, but has also then asked to remain anonymous, because this wasn't an exercise of trying to, say, look how nice I am, I donate vouchers. For me, it's really credible when someone donates and then also doesn't want to have their name shared, because they don't need that attention. So to that individual, you know exactly who you are. A massive thank you, because this made this challenge a little bit more enticing. I'm surprised more guys didn't jump on for that 550 Rand voucher. So with the spin of the wheel, Albert, it's down to you, sir.
Petros, congratulations.
Petros, you and I will be in touch. Yeah, there's a bit more to this one, but anyway.
Let's see if Petros is on this.
Is Petros on there? I know he said he wasn't going to be able to maybe make it today.
Let's see if Petros is on.
I can't believe it. And it's just so funny because he and I actually spoke about this in this week.
Alright. But nonetheless, Petros.
Alright. Petros, I'll be in touch. You and I will be talking. We'll make up
nice.
we'll make a plan on that one. But yeah, congratulations, Petros. Well deserved. Yeah. Once I've spoken to Petros, I'll hopefully bring you guys in on that whole venture. All right, so with that in mind, we're going to then start doing the draws. So before we move on to the draw of the next one, shall we go and take a quick squiz at what is up for grabs? So which one do you want to do first?
Let's start with some paints. That's easy.
That's always a good thing. So we're going to do the first draw, which is instant colors set from scale 75. This is the Summon Potion set with the shadow tones. We did do a review of these just about a week and a half ago. And as I mentioned in that particular review, I only got to review 2 of the colors, which was a blue and a red, but they were absolutely phenomenal. Really surprised. I'm not a big fan of gimmicky paints, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised by these particular paints. The saturation level was amazing. The quality of the pigment was great. The fluidity and flow off the brush was also quite impressive. So yeah, I was very surprised. But like I say, that's only based on trying out 2 of the paints from the range. So for today's giveaway, Pandemonium Games have very graciously sponsored a full paint set, the Shadow Tone set, and you guys will see all the colors on the back there that are available.
Yeah.
And I, for one, would be very, very excited to get a set like this to give them a go. So we're going to spin the wheel and see who gets to take home a full set of paints valued at $650. Not bad. So here we go. Spin of the wheel. Everybody, good luck.
Hey.
Jay!
Jay was joking.
Jay was joking. Ah, it's Jay.
It's Jay.
That came this close. Who was next to Jay? Was Ludo. Oh, Ludo. Shit. Poor Ludo was going, go on! Oh, damn it. Congratulations, Jay. Well deserved winner. Summon Potion set coming your way, so I'll be in touch with you tomorrow or Monday morning.
Did I not switch the scene? Oh, you clever.
Don't tell me we did that all blind. Oh, bugger, right. You guys
there's the evidence.
That. Okay.
It was very close between.
Yeah, there was literally a hairline split between Jay and Ludo. And that's why we got all excited, but we thought you guys were seeing that, and we realized only now we didn't have that up. Lesson learned. We'll make sure that the next one's up for you guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, Jay, you're the well-deserved winner of a Summon Potion set from the Instant Color range from Scale 75, sponsored by Pandemonium Games. I'll be in touch with you on Monday. Congratulations, sir. Nice one. All right, so what we need to do is take Jay out of the running for the next draw.
Yeah, so that's easy. We can just say remove Jay.
Perfect. Everybody else is still on there?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so the next one we're going to do is the very cool Warhammer commemorative series. This is the Space Marine Sergeant Castus. Very cool model. Like the fact that this is one of those few GW models that comes with a fully, display-based kind of level.
Like a vignette almost.
Yeah, nice little vignette. So that is a commemorative series Space Marine up for grabs. So we're going to do a spin of the wheel. This one is very kindly and graciously donated by Pandemonium Games. So a very special thank you to them. Let's see who's got a Space Marine coming their way.
I remember this time.
Let's see if someone's going to have a Space Marine to paint for the 40k contest in January. Right, and we've made sure we got the screen up for you guys. Who's the winner?
Luke?
Quinlan.
Very well.
All right, so Quinlan's the winner of the Space Marine. Congratulations, Quinlan. We'll be in touch with you on Monday, and I'll reach out to get this awesome Space Marine in your hands. Nice one. Cool. So we're going to take Quinlan off the list for the next draw. And then I think what we're going to do is, because that one was a bit of a surprise, the guys don't know about that one just yet. So the next one we're going to do is a nice little set of Pro Acryl paints. The three colors that we've got here in this little set is burnt sienna, dark blue, and then dark camo green. For those of you who've tried the Pro Acryl paints, I'm sure you'll agree that they're lovely, very fluid paints, rich quality pigment, and quite ideal for glazing, hey?
Very strong. Yeah, no, I've used all three of those colors already, so yeah, no complaints. It's very nice.
And these very kindly donated by Funzel from Madness 3D. So massive thanks to Madness for sponsoring this little one. So this is a fun little 3 paint set coming to a lucky winner. So we've updated the board, 2 less people on the board, and spin that wheel, sir.
Shuffle a little bit.
Yeah, let's do a bit of a shuffle. And we are live. People can see. Okay, so we're not going to be just shouting to ourselves here. Jacques! Yeah! Nice one, man. Nice to see Jacques get something going his way. Congratulations, Jacques. So we've got 3 paint sets coming your way, and being the historical guy, these are actually 3 ideal colors that work just right for you. So yeah, we'll get those on their way down to you, sir. I know you're out in, I think, East London, if I remember with Jacques. So we'll get these out to you, Jacques. Congratulations, bud. Well-deserved winner of the Pro Acryl paint sets. And we're down to 2 more giveaways. Okay, so the second last giveaway we're going to show you guys is a little surprise because this one wasn't advertised, and I thought I'd hold it back as a bit of a surprise. This is also to further show you guys the future range of products and stuff coming in at Pandemonium Games. You guys have seen them really pay attention to the painters. You've seen Ryan bring in the Pro Acryl paints from Monument Hobbies. You've seen him expand the Scale 75 paint range, including bringing in those instant colors. But coming very soon in the next week or 2, we have got the Vallejo paint range coming into Pandemonium Games, and that includes the entire Game Air range, certain select colors from the model range, as well as the Vallejo Air range. But yeah, we've got these very cool Game Air face painting paint set. Cool thing about these is they come with their own included step-by-step by Angel Geraldes.
Who's that?
Yeah. Who? And that is a very cool set. If you don't want this set, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to keep it and look after it for you in my studio. Can't promise I won't touch the paints. But yeah, very envious of whoever's going to get this little lovely paint set. So once again, we're going to turn to the wheel and we're going to do a quick draw. Now we've taken Jacques off the list.
Yeah,
cool. We're going to do a quick shuffle. Spin that wheel.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Who we got? Werner Vane. Werner else.
And he was so bummed last night because he was really amped for the show.
And he missed out on being able to join us. Well, well-deserved.
I even joked today, hopefully you come back and then you'll see you got some goodies. So.
Well, dude, something to look forward to. When you're watching this, at whatever time you're watching this, we're screaming for you.
Yeah.
And I hope you got an airbrush because you got some paints coming your way. The cool thing is remember that with these air paints, you can still use them by brush as well if you don't have an airbrush. So
very good for glazing.
Never a good thing, never a bad thing. Yeah, and they are excellent. The dilution, as you say, best suited for glazing actually. So a lot of guys use air paints for glazing purposes. So congratulations, Werner. Well deserved. You've been an active member of the community quite a bit in the last few months. So well deserved. All right, and we're down to the last of the giveaways. And this one is a very cool one. This was very graciously donated by Madness 3D, and we've just very quickly and briefly done an assembly for you with some press stick, blue tack for all the non-South Africans, and yeah, once again, if you don't want this one, I am more than happy to keep it, for you. I know Albert would even consider keeping it for you and looking after it for you. Because it's a very cool piece, and as you can see, not a small piece either. And this one is valued at over $750. So with everything combined, this pushes it over the 3,000 Rand mark in the total value of prizes for today. And once again, just another opportunity to say thank you to the community. So fingers crossed, if you haven't won something so far, really start praying to those hobby gods, because this would be a really cool win to come your way. So shuffled, ready to go? Senores,
Yes.
spin their wheel.
Just on the mark.
Just on Jared. There you go. Jared. Awesome. Nice one. Jared, congratulations, bud. You've just won yourself yet another addition to your pile of grey. And hopefully one that we'll see painted up and submitted on the completed channel on the Discord.
Awesome.
Very, very soon. So massive congratulations to you there, sir.
All right.
We'll get her packed up and back in her box. And I'll reach out to you on Monday to arrange shipping.
And then the last one.
Now, the last one is, of course, our personal favorite, because that is part of the painted giveaway.
Yes.
So just to remind folks that this was a special giveaway with regards to the birthday celebration. So there was a bit more to give away than usual. But every month we have a giveaway that's sponsored by Pandemonium Games. And then we've also got the painted model giveaway that we, as the Discord team, paint up and give away to the members. So for this particular one, we've got the very, very cool Infinity figure painted up by Julio. I think you guys will recall seeing a picture of it earlier on the gallery. So if you want to scroll back on the video, you can go take a look at that Infinity model painted up by Julio. And it is sitting ready, waiting to find out who its new owner is. So, best of luck to everyone. What's that expression from the DJ? DJ, spin that wheel, bro.
Spin that shit.
Spin that shit.
On the
Give
mark.
it.
There we
Fish.
go.
Fish. Fish, you got to come take a trip from Hermanus and come pay me a visit, bud. You happen to have an Infinity model coming your way, painted up by Julio, bud. Congratulations. So yeah, that was awesome. Nice spread of winners. Very, very happy to have a nice spread of people that have been active members of the community. So very happy to see those winners.
Everything actually worked out with even putting everybody in the same.
Except for the one where you kept it all blind from everyone. So they heard us screaming and they were like, what are they screaming at? What? We can't see. So that was very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was quite nerve-wracking and exciting for us on our side. But yeah, congratulations to all the winners. So that was, let's go through the list and see if we can remember. So it was Jacques, it was Petros, it was Wagner E, it was Jared. And Jay.
And Fish at the end.
And Fish at the end. So all 6 winners. Guys, if you want, you're more than welcome to just reach out to me on WhatsApp. Otherwise, we'll be in touch with you on Monday and make sure we get those things shipped up and on their way to you. Make sure that you please, when you get them, share them, take photos of them, tell everyone how awesome it is that you just won this on the community, and hopefully more people will then want to join and become part of this community. So that was cool. But yeah, every other month for all members, painted model giveaway plus a giveaway sponsored by Pandemonium Games. So every Friday, last Friday stream of the month, we'll be doing that. And then as you guys can see, hopefully we plan big events for birthdays, and hopefully next year we'll have some other milestones that we can celebrate and have some really cool giveaways and sponsored events. So very cool. And very cool to see certain individuals that I think are well deserving of the prizes. So very cool stuff. All right, so guys, I know that we've just about hit our deadline and we're pushing past our time frame, so we're going to try and speed up through the last bit of the birthday celebration, and then that way we can let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon.
I think we actually touched on most of the stuff already.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Well, look, I think there was
well.
for me, these are 3 things that I just wanted to really highlight. What were 3 milestones of the community and members of the community. The first being, of course, you giving birth to the Discord. I wanted to put it down like that because I wanted to have someone,
scratch your
head going, huh, what? But yeah, Albert was the one that was the spark that started this whole thing and created the Discord, and then brought it to me and said to me, look what we can do. And for me, I hadn't even considered something like this. So very thankful that I took his advice, very thankful that he put in the effort, and quite literally brought a Discord that was already up and running and fully established and had all the filters and all the parameters put in place. Well for that. And a very special shout out to Henry for that. And that's why I consider Henry as part of the Discord team from day one. And then another big spotlight for me was Julio winning a big place in the paint of contests, a cult of paint contest that the guys did overseas. And that for me was just so exciting because in the past, and like I say, I'm not trying to blow my own horn. It was only myself getting something overseas, and I wanted to see more South Africans. I want to see more of the community making an impact. So for me, that was one of those proud moments to see a fellow South African hit it big in an online contest, international contest, and that was really cool.
That's the only time when you hear my fellow South Africans in a good way.
My fellow South Africans in a very nice way, yes, absolutely. If we say it in any other way, it might be a bit of an insult, but anyway. And then for me, another little proud moment was, you see, I've got small little benchmarks that I've always had for WildStorm Studios, and that is that I wanted to open up a store, and thankfully I got the opportunity to experience that and live that dream for a short while. But more so things like being able to create a commission team, a studio team of painters, and I feel like we finally got that. So by landing our first WildStorm Studios commission, where I got to then commission the three of you to be involved with that, was for me a small landmark, because it meant that I have managed to achieve yet another one of those little benchmarks. I still have a few in the pipeline. I'd still love to produce a coffee table book. I'd love to produce some merch. I'd love to have a gallery, a proper art exhibition of all our works at a proper art exhibition. But yeah, these are all little delusions of grandeur we'll roll out and aim for in the next year or two. But yeah, these are three of the things that for me were key moments of the last year. Is you giving birth to the Discord, Julio doing so well overseas and becoming a prominent member of the painter community almost overnight because of it. And then of course the team being able to now be a studio commission team, which was really, really cool. So yeah. And then over the last week or so, I know the team has reached out to you guys, the community, to share your birthday wishes, and this for me is always where I tend to bat back the tears and not get all emotional, but yeah, some of the kind words that you guys share are just really cool, and it's what drives both Albert and I forward. It's what makes us then feel like all that effort and all that work is worthwhile and gets us to continue moving forward. So to Werner, Waldo, Andre, Jacques, Manny, Ludo, for these messages, thank you so much. Really kind of you guys to share them with us, and we'll definitely be keeping them up for prosperity. And then same applies for Hanru, Tian, Fonzale, Jay, Petros, Clive, Ernest, and you see how it's the usual suspects. So to all of you guys, truly appreciate your guys' support, and thank you for the messages. They really have been heartwarming.
And we'll make this is a slide, so we'll just make a PDF and drop the whole slide at the end of it onto the Discord.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, so just like we've done in the past when we've done slides, we want to make that slide available for you. So this entire slide will be available for you guys to download, and then be able to actually enjoy these pictures at your own pace, which is quite nice. And then of course from Julio, and then Jared and Albert yourself as well. Your silly idea. Well, it wasn't so silly after all, because here we are a year later, 310 hours of content, 271 finished models, 47 subscribed members. We just fell short of our target of 50.
Still got
but left. Yeah, we still got a month. We can still push it. Come on, find us 3 guys and we can hit that 50 milestone. But in having said that, I'd like to set the challenge that by next year we double that, and we try to hit the 100 mark. If we can hit it sooner, way better. But we are not idiots. We don't have crazy mad delusions of grandeur. We're not trying to take over the hobby world. We're just trying to build a thriving and awesome one here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to also set ourselves some very, very modest and hopefully achievable goals and benchmarks. And that's why I say we're not going to look for delusions of grandeur. We'd love to see 100 members subscribe to the Discord by the end of next year. So that's the goal. That's the aim.
Did you remove my empty slide?
I might have.
Some of the team members removed my empty slide.
Did someone remove an empty slide? Someone removed an empty slide. Now, there was a special message from me, but that message is from me to the team and everybody else.
That one is still there.
So you guys will be able to, if you'd like, in your own time,
Ryan's video.
Oh, Ryan, yes. So we got a very special video message from Ryan, which we'd like to play back for you guys very quickly. Very short message. I just wonder if we've still got it. You still got it there?
Yeah.
Right. So we got Ryan reached out to us. Unfortunately, poor Ryan's been having a couple of issues with both his daughter and his wife being sick at home. So he's having to juggle babysitting duties, running the store for Pandemonium Games, and then at the same time wanted to send us a birthday message. So what we did was we asked him to give us a little video recorded message. I'm going to play that for you guys very quickly now. So
you want to mute?
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Ryan from Pandemonium Games here. I was hoping to join you all this evening, but I'm unfortunately dealing with a sick wife and child at the moment, so I'm running on very little sleep and lots of coffee. I just wanted to take the opportunity to wish the WildStorm Discord a happy first birthday. We've obviously been involved with WildStorm and Richard since the very first painting classes they held in our tiny old store years ago, and it's been very gratifying to see all of Richard's hard work beginning to pay off. Those of you who know me and know Pandemonium will be aware that we've always had a focus on the broader tabletop community, so we've loved seeing so many new and established painters so actively involved week after week. Congratulations to Richard and the mod team on what you've achieved so far, and thank you to all of you who have been supporting and engaging with them in the WildStorm community. All the best as we round out 2021 and may 2022 be even better.
Yeah, that's another thing. I always forget to unmute. I'm like, rah, 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 oh shit, everyone. So, yeah. That was really cool of Ryan and Pandemonium Games, and a very special thank you to them for their support and their belief in what we're trying to do here on our little community. And very special thank you to Ryan, Pandemonium Games, and the same goes for both his partners at Panda. And we hope to continue that relationship. We hope to continue our relationship with Madness, 3D, and Funzel. Same applies to Filthy Casual with Jay. Jay, you won a prize, so you owe us. Get us something going on the community, and let's get some more stuff going with you guys and collaborating with you guys. So, I think that pretty much wraps up the stream. We covered all the bases. We covered all the stuff in the script, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
We'll keep the other stuff for later.
What other stuff is there?
No, just plans and stuff for moving forward.
What I want to do is, look, we've still got a couple of streams lined up for the year. Yeah. So what I will do for you guys is let me just clarify upcoming events, and then we'll wrap it up. We will have a chat with you of our future plans for next year, more towards the end of the month when we maybe do the final stream, or not the final stream, but the Friday night stream on the 26th of February. 26th of February. Tired, need some sleep. 26th of November, which also happens to be Black Friday. So if there's a stream you don't want to miss, that's a stream like the one that's timed for Black Friday, and we're supported by Panda. So you might want to make sure you join us for that stream.
And we hope it's not a no lights Black Friday.
Yeah, let's hope it's not an ESCOM restricted stream. Maybe that's what we should do, is whenever we can actually do a stream, we go, Wednesday night stream sponsored by ESCOM because they're letting us, But in wrapping up, just to remind you guys, next week, Wednesday, we'll have our usual work in progress Wednesday. I think on the 15th of November, we're doing our promotion Wednesday night stream with Pandemonium Games, where they like to highlight a particular product or have us review something. And then the 26th of November is the Friday night final stream of November. So we'll be doing the giveaway for the painter model with Hanru, which was the Shard speaker Silinesh, and a giveaway from Pandemonium Games. And then because we've got December coming up, we've got Christmas holidays, a lot of people going away, spending time with family.
I still want to talk about that one, because I think we've been joking this whole year about the guys up in Joburg going together, or all of them. We're going to see if we can try organize a little get together at the end of the year.
I love there was a bit of a spark of that conversation happening earlier. So we're going to just put that out there now. So maybe you guys can start talking and see if we can plan something, but we'd love to. We're planning to do our final stream for the year around about the 15th of December. I'm still deciding because the 15th is actually a Monday night, which is very out of the norm for us. We don't do Monday night streams. Monday nights we're trying to recover from the weekend and the week ahead. So we will finalize the date. It will either be the 12th of December, which was the Friday, or the 15th of December, which is the Monday, which will be the final stream for the year. So yes, we will be doing the painted model giveaway, which will be my one. For December. We've also got Pandemonium Games up to date with the schedule, so they will also provide their giveaway for December. And we'll then wrap up the stream and sort of break for Christmas. Now, it doesn't mean that the Discord closes. The Discord's still going to be active. You're going to be posting. We'll all be active on there. We're all still going to be doing our projects. But the streaming will just take a bit of a break so that the team can get some well-deserved break, put their minds a little bit back on a more relaxed, stable status after this crazy year that we've had, and then hopefully come back in the year refreshed with some new ideas, some exciting projects that we'd like to work on, and also just adhere to one thing, which is that if we promise something, that we stick to it and we provide it without overextending ourselves. But yeah, we'll get more into that in that when that conversation comes up. So what we'd like to try to do is extend to all of you that on that night, the 12th or the 15th, we'll confirm which is the date of the broadcast, that potentially the guys up in Joburg could get together and have a sort of Christmas year-end function bash.
It'll probably be in that weekend.
Yeah, over that weekend or something like that. And we will most certainly try to do the same for the guys down here in the Western Cape. We'll see if we can't get together and all have a bit of a beer and talk shit and just celebrate the year in the right fashion of a little Christmas party. So the ideas out there, get together, reach out to each other, let's see if we can do something. I know there's even guys in Bloemfontein, there's Manny and there's Willem and Adeline, so the three of you guys get together and see if you can organize a little Bloemfontein Christmas bash for the WildStorm Studios Discord. And I think that about covers it all.
Yeah.
Done. Script, tick. Models given away, tick. We did the stream, we didn't stuff up too much, tick.
Some of them might go missing in the process.
Yeah, some of you might not get your models, but that's not through no fault of our own. Quick, put this in your bag. But yeah, guys, last thing from me is just to say a massive thank you to the community for your support. You guys, Albert will testify. Being a full-time artist in this country is not a lucrative exercise. But the support that I gained from the Patreon is massively helpful with being able to make it through the month. So to the community, a very, very special thank you to all of you guys, to guys like Christopher who donated this lovely microphone, guys who have donated their time, their effort. I've even had guys like guys donate lighting for us. We've had guys donate models for us to give away. We've had Pandemonium Games support us and partner us with products and reviews now. And we've only been doing that for the last 2 months. So many more to come, and hopefully bigger and better things. So just from me to the community, the retailers, the supporters, the suppliers, as well as, and no least of all, the Discord team, for all your guys' support and all your guys' help. Would not have been able to achieve this without your guys' support. So thank you. Thank you for 2021. And here's to the next 12 months and hopefully the next 12 years of this community growing. So thanks for joining us, guys. Albert?
I got nothing to say. I was enjoying
You're quite
myself.
Happy? Yeah, all good. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Have an awesome Saturday. And don't forget to always paint up a store. Have a good one.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye, guys.